demanding a swift and transparent action into examining the causes of the collapse and addressing future mitigation and repair steps. The first presidential debate of 2024 was arguably unlike anything the nation has seen before. President Biden stumbled at times during the night, which reportedly is sparking concerns among Democrats over his age and ability to take on Donald Trump in November. Meanwhile, Trump seemed to try and deflect his actions during the attack on the U.S. Capitol, ignored some questions, and dismissed accusations that he had an affair with porn star Stormy Daniels. Both candidates hurled personal insults at one another and accused each other of being the worst president in U.S. history. A pair of former Uvalde school law enforcement officers have been indicted over the response to the 2022 deadly school shooting. The Uvalde Leader News reports former Uvalde School Police Chief Pete Arredondo and former school police officer Adrian Gonzalez face several felony charges of abandoning and endangering a child. The shooting at Robb Elementary School left 19 children and 2 teachers dead. A $10,000 reward is being offered for information leading to the arrest and conviction of a man wanted in the murder of a National Guard member in Chicago. The feds have indicted both Gary Roberson and Joseph Matos in the July 2021 shooting death of 19-year-old Chris Carvajal in the Belmont Cragen neighborhood. Roberson is behind bars, but Matos, who is considered armed and dangerous, is still on the loose. A 14-year-old boy is accused of being involved in a violent robbery on Chicago's Near West Side. Police say the young teen was part of a group that beat and robbed a 45-year-old man yesterday in the 600 block of West Grand Avenue. The boy has been charged with 1 felony count of robbery and 1 misdemeanor count of battery. The Chicago Fire Department is faced with a paramedic shortage. Union President Patrick Cleary says timely patient care could be in jeopardy. Paramedics who are working say they are often asked to work on their days off. Firefighters who have worked 3 years without a contract plan to stage a march on Michigan Avenue during the NASCAR street race on July 6th. A Milwaukee bakery is facing backlash ahead of the Republican National Convention. Fox's Jeff Manasso has more.
National Bakery and Deli in Milwaukee has been making sweet treats and people happy for nearly a century, though now getting some online backlash and praise after announcing they're making cookies for the city's 2024 Republican National Convention next month.
It kind of blew up. I mean, it went kind of viral. Everything from they're never going to, stop in here again to, yes, finally, you got some good cookies like that.
Co-owner Jeff Callan also saying,
we're equal. We're not political in any of this.
That they're making cookies for the Democratic National Convention as well, just as it did 4 years ago, saying they're just cookies. And
that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
A Pike County man is accused of numerous domestic violence and sex-related crimes. State police launched an investigation last month after being notified that a victim was at a local hospital. As a result, Austin Rodhouse of Pleasant Hill was arrested for aggravated domestic battery and transported to the Pike County Jail. Following his arrest, state police conducted a follow-up investigation, which led to numerous additional charges. The Pike County State's Attorney's Office has charged Rodhouse with 48 criminal charges. Hospital Sisters Health System is reaching a tentative agreement with Aetna Insurance. The deal covers patients at all HSHS healthcare facilities in Illinois. Without the agreement, coverage would have been terminated for patients with Aetna Insurance on Monday. This report is sponsored by Wendy's $3 English Muffin Breakfast Deal. Grab a proper breakfast with Wendy's new $3 English Muffin Breakfast Deal. Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Select a request English Muffin Deal to obtain discount. Not valid for a la carte or combo orders. Single item at regular price. A check of the roads coming up in 2 minutes on AM 560 The Answer.
Brandon Tatum sees people jumping on the bandwagon.
What happens is, and I've seen this happen so often, people get on the Trump bandwagon because he's so popular that they feel as if they can piggyback off his success and they can become famous and they want to be in the limelight and all these other things. And then when the rubber hit the road, they ain't really built like that. They're not really about that life.
The Officer Tatum Show, weeknights at 8, right before Sean Hannity at 10 on AM 560. The Answer.
This is Carol Platt-Liebau for townhall.com. In Murphy v. Missouri, the Supreme Court has taken the coward's way out. In a 6-3 ruling, it declined to rule on whether the Biden administration could coerce social media companies to censor and shadow ban people who disagree with it. It said the plaintiffs lacked standing, that those who sued hadn't shown a sufficient injury to bring the case. This ought to be distressing for everyone who cares about free speech. The Biden administration clearly engaged in censorship by surrogate, using social media companies to silence those it couldn't legally silence on its own. But there's good news. First, future plaintiffs can challenge the Biden censorship regime. Second, bad legal news is great political news. Donald Trump could and should make free speech a centerpiece of his campaign. Republicans in Congress can draft laws to protect our First Amendment and draw a contrast with our left-wing government censors.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I've been watching it on TV, and then my soul has my husband, and I guess he just called up and surprised me. He had ordered it, and I didn't expect it for me to notice it so right away. I kind of shocked my husband when I told him. I've been taking it like a little over a week. I'm taking it, and then I can already notice a difference. I do feel very good. I can't even put it into words. I feel really good every day. I don't wake up grouchy. I love everybody to take it. I think it's wonderful.
Splash into your summer with Balance of Nature's summer savings. Go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 50% off your first set. Don't miss out. This offer is only available while supplies last. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this limited time offer by using discount code Chicago.
In the Team Hochberg Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak taking a look at the roads northbound I-57. Stop-and-go traffic already. Vollmer to I-80 southbound, you'll see a delay 30 to Sauk Trail. Eastbound 80, that is tight. Chicago Street to Gauger, that's overnight roadwork causing that delay. And then also westbound from Gauger to Briggs. Southbound 65, snug. State Road 2 to 205th Avenue. Again, that is due to construction. On the inbound Eisenhower, that is slowing down 9th Avenue to Des Plaines, 26 minutes in from 390 to the post office. On the inbound Edens and the Kennedy, you're in good shape. Inbound Stevenson, not reporting any delays. The inbound side of the Dan Ryan is open. DuSable Lakeshore Drive looks good, and all the tollways are trouble-free. Traffic is a service of Dan and Amy 24/7. You can now enjoy uninterrupted programming from Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson around the clock, all day, every day, including daily replays of Chicago's Morning Answer. Listen now at danandamy247.com. Chicago's Morning Answer starts next. But now a check of your forecast from the National Weather Service.
Clouds and breezy, couple of brief showers beginning midday today. High 82, cloudy, warm and humid. Shower and thunderstorm tonight. We could get some flash flooding. Low tonight 71. Thunderstorm tomorrow morning. Otherwise clouds and sun, breezy, and the high tomorrow 89. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560. The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Potholes don't care. Whether you drive an imported sports car or luxury SUV, Chicagoland potholes will get you and take a toll on alloy wheels. If you have scratched, bent, or damaged alloy wheels, don't buy new ones. Just call the Alloy Repair Specialists. Alloy Wheel Repair Specialists can make your wheels like new again. Over 200 5-star Google reviews say a lot. Things like, these guys are amazing, and they'll take care of your alloy wheels. Offering top-of-the-line repair and OEM replacement wheels, why buy new when you can fix it? Even change the color of your wheels to update your car style. Alloy Wheel Repair Specialists work with many car dealerships, reconditioning their used cars to help them get in showroom shape, and can also do this for your vehicle. From powder coating, machining, remanufacturing, straightening to welding, Alloy Wheel Repair Specialists do amazing quality repairs. Call or text today, 224-385-0432, 224-385-0432. That's 224-385-0432 or awrswheelrepair.com.
Hugs from patients, like Patrick. It's something QC Kinetics medical professionals experience every day.
I hugged them. You should hug somebody who does that for you. They gave me my life back, and I really didn't know where I was going to go because I was definitely afraid of having a knee replacement done.
No surgery, no downtime with QC Kinetics regenerative treatments. They give patients relief from joint pain using their own healing properties to repair and restore damaged tissue. And the results? Well, that's why we see a lot of hugs at QC Kinetics.
Everything is back that I thought I was never going to be able to do again. I'm still smiling, and sometimes it gets emotional. I get a tear in my eye because of how I was before I went in there.
Those smiles and hugs never get old at QC Kinetics. It means patients are finally getting relief. And now, it's your turn. Call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation and see if you're a good candidate for these amazing treatments.
Call QC Kinetics, 312-809-5955. That's 312-809-5955. 312-809-5955.
Life is complicated enough without having to worry about your financial concerns when you retire. In a perfect world, your retirement funds would just be there when you reach retirement age.
But it's not a perfect world, and you really need to look ahead and be proactive to manage the dollars you've earned.
The team at Wealth Management Group can help. Uncomplicate your financial future and talk to the team at Wealth Management Group today.
Call 833-WMG-PLAN. That's 833-WMG-PLAN. Or investwithwmg.com.
A great smile can make you feel happy and confident. So when you consciously conserve your teeth, that glowing smile will show through. At Best Dental Group, Doctors Economos, Gavalis, and their staff are ready to help you create that perfect look or maintain the one you have now. Along with general dentistry, Best Dental Group is a multidisciplined practice with an orthodontist, periodontist, and prosthetic specialists on site. They use the newest breakthroughs in dental technology, such as titanium implants, Invisalign clear braces, and laser treatments. Don't let fear get in the way. They can recommend sedation to make your experience as comfortable as possible. Best Dental Group is located in historic downtown Bartlett and is a multilingual office. Call 630-830-4930. That's 630-830-4930. Or visit bestdental.org. Best Dental Group, sharing your conservative values and helping you to conserve your teeth.
Hi, this is Maria and Diane with the Del Bacchio Marchetti Group of App Properties Christie's International. We wanted to tell you why we placed number 9 in Illinois as the top producing real estate team and number 1 in Arlington Heights.
In the past 9 years, we assisted 1,975 buyers and sellers achieve the American dream of home ownership, selling $720 million in real estate.
If you are considering making a move, we can help you get the most value for your home in today's market.
Maria and I have over 50 years of combined experience. We take a conservative approach in protecting your asset and will give you the direction and professional advice needed to achieve a successful transaction.
Our pledge to you is to have your best interest at heart. So get the special attention you deserve with our white glove service from our city division to the suburbs.
Contact us for a free, no-obligation market analysis at thedmregroup.com. That's thedmregroup.com.
Information verification, MRED LLC, 2013 to 2022. Real Trends Large Teams 2022.
Our communities deserve to have their tax dollars spent efficiently. All over Chicagoland, there is an increased need for vital projects like wetland improvements, enhancing water quality, or stormwater mitigation to protect homes against devastating floods. Too often, public officials find themselves at the mercy of outside advisors when planning, budgeting, and building these projects. And let's face it, they rarely meet deadlines or budgets, leaving our communities vulnerable. There's a better way forward. Control Point Engineering. At Control Point Engineering, we're more than just civil engineers. We're champions of quality and efficiency with over 40 years of hands-on experience. Teaming up with Earthworks Land Development, we're breaking down barriers and streamlining processes. Say goodbye to disjointed partnerships and hello to seamless collaboration. From conceptualization to construction, Control Point Engineering delivers everything you need in one unified package, saving you time and money. Visit ControlPointLLC.com today to learn about our successful projects all across Chicagoland. Again, that's ControlPointLLC.com.
As a local business owner, you get called every week by marketing companies. We get it. We have hundreds of satisfied customers. Here's what a satisfied client recently said.
Open enrollment is going great. We're hitting record numbers. Thank you so much for this report. It really is amazing to see how the marketing is really shaping our enrollment around the city.
If you're a local business and ready for the next step, visit SurroundChicago.com right now. Our experts are ready to help you take your marketing to the next level. Visit SurroundChicago.com today.
Quick delivery service. What do you need delivered today?
Hi, I'm trying to work through a last-minute to-do list for my boss. Can you deliver a hard drive to the Loop in Chicago?
We can deliver that today.
Okay, can you deliver 20 boxes to a client in Rockford?
We can deliver that today.
Can you deliver 12 pallets of tile to our customer in Naperville?
We can deliver that today.
Can you deliver a large envelope to Northbrook?
We can deliver that today.
Oh my gosh, I think my water just broke. Can you...
We cannot deliver that.
Quick Delivery Service delivers your package no matter the size. More than just a messenger service, Quick Delivery Service is a messenger and trucking service that can also provide scheduled routes for your daily delivery or your air shipment. Trucks are equipped to handle the load and provide ground-level service for same-day delivery. The Quick Delivery Service team of safe, licensed professionals can provide quick door-to-door service for your special delivery. QuickDelivery.com. That's QuickDelivery.com. We deliver that today. But we don't deliver this.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
That's some good stuff, I'll tell you. It really works.
I'm just really pleased with your product. I've been using it now for 3 years.
I've been taking it for a while now. I feel better. I live on the Balance of Nature. I plan on taking it forever.
I've been a very happy customer. I like the product, and I'm telling a lot of people about it.
Splash into your summer with Balance of Nature's summer savings. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 50% off your first set with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. That's 1-800-246-8751. Don't miss out. This offer is only available while supplies last. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this limited-time offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
At Catholic Cemeteries of Chicago, we honor traditions, celebrate faith, and cherish memories. Take an active role in establishing your legacy for future generations by pre-planning your final arrangements today. Alleviate your loved ones of future financial burden. Lock in today's prices and take advantage of interest-free financing and no hidden fees. Visit CatholicCemeteriesChicago.org or call 708-236-5490 to schedule a free consultation today.
An informed and educated citizenry is the only guarantee to preserve our constitutional republic. And each week, you'll hear from experts, not pundits, and find out what's really happening, from local issues to national politics. Listen to The Real Story with Jeannie Ives. There's no topic of public policy concern that she won't talk about. Stop the lies, learn the truth, join the conversation. Sunday night at 7, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Papa Nicholas Coffee, a Chicagoland tradition for over 5 generations, combines heritage and innovation in every cup. Our coffee is locally roasted, hot air roasted, and cold blended in small batches to ensure premium quality. Whether you prefer a 12-ounce bag or a 28-ounce bag, or even the convenience of K-Cups, you'll find Papa Nicholas Coffee at your local retailer. Taste the difference that 5 generations of expertise brings. Choose Papa Nicholas Coffee, because great coffee is our family tradition. Visit online at papanicholas.com. That's papanicholas.com.
Are you turning 65 and thinking about Medicare? Or are you over 65 and haven't enrolled yet because you still have coverage at work? Either way, Medicare done correctly will be the best health insurance you will ever have. Imagine having an annual deductible of only $240. There are only 2 good things about aging: wisdom and Medicare. But to navigate the Medicare maze properly, you need a mentor. Best part, my guidance costs you nothing. Call me. I can help.
If you're tired of calling a bureaucrat at an 800 number to help you navigate Medicare, then you need a local expert on your side, your own health insurance mentor. C. Stephen Tucker from healthinsurancementors.com is someone I know and trust. He's a 30-year licensed broker who's been educating our listeners for more than a decade. Steve, how can our listeners get in touch with you?
Thanks, Dan. They can visit healthinsurancementors.com or call me directly at 630-674-1551. That's 630-674-1551.
As a business owner, do you have a strategy for exiting your business? Most business owners don't. Studies done by the Exit Planning Institute show 75% of business owners who don't have an exit plan are dissatisfied with their exit, and 80% of businesses put to market never sell. Total Clarity Wealth Management understands the hesitation to discuss exiting. Will customers leave? Will competitors take advantage? Will key employees leave? That's why they offer confidential planning. Contact Anne Marie at Total Clarity Wealth Management. Discover what the financial foundation should be to pursue an exit that is satisfying. At some point, you are going to leave your business. Will it be on your terms? Total Clarity can show you the way to financial readiness and keep you on track. Anne Marie is a certified exit planning advisor. Visit TotalClarityBusiness.com. That's TotalClarityBusiness.com. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advice offered through Total Clarity Wealth Management, Inc., a registered investment advisor and separate entity from LPL Financial.
From breaking news and weather across the country to insight from the brightest minds in conservative opinion, it's Salem News Channel, home to the biggest shows on TV, like Brandon Tatum weekdays at 6 p.m. Eastern, followed by Charlie Kirk at 7. Join SNC, where facts are sacred, critical thinking is celebrated, and the pursuit of truth is unwavering. Watch Salem News Channel free now on Xumo Play. Learn more at snc.tv/Xumo.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. Your business and your money are in good hands with Signature Bank. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hi, I'm Jason Zenger, owner of Zenger's Industrial Supply and host of the Making Shifts podcast, and a proud customer of Signature Bank. Through rapid growth, acquisitions of competitors, and taking over from the previous generation, Signature Bank was there with us every step of the way. Recently, the team introduced us to FinRails AP, their proprietary system for accounts payable automation. Not only did FinRails AP help us to reduce costs and create efficiencies, but it also helped minimize fraud risk. Now, our company can invest time into what we do best, supplying industrial products, metalworking tooling, contractor tools, and safety supplies to those who make, build, and create great things for our country.
Signature Bank helps local businesses succeed. Let Signature Bank turn your business vision into reality. Visit signaturebank.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
As we near retirement age, market volatility can have an enormous impact on our lives. It's one thing if the market drops when you're 29 or 39, but if you're 59 or 69, it's a totally different story. Call us at the Wealth Management Group today, and we can help you create a plan to safeguard your nest egg in the event of market drops. Our number, 833-WMG-PLAN, or invest with WMG.com.
Securities and financial planning offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member FINRA SIPC.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan, and in for Amy J this morning is John Cass, JohnCassNews.com.
It was a short night. I didn't get a lot of sleep, but you know what calmed me down was thinking about Jill and Joe, because I'm sure they have time to rest now.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. We'll take your reactions to last night's presidential debate. I guess at this point, suspension of disbelief about your candidate is no longer an option. And that's was the reaction you saw from much of the leftist punditry in the immediate aftermath of that debate. They paid the price for believing their own bull jive about his capacity, right? We had been listening to this sort of business for, really years now, but particularly in the last several months. Stuff like this from White House spokeswoman KJP.
And I spent sometimes countless hours with him, whether it's in the Oval Office, whether it's on the road. And I believe, for me, you're asking me my personal opinion, he is sharp. He is on top of things. When we have meetings with him, with his staff, he's constantly pushing us, trying to get more information. And so that has been my experience with this president.
Ali Mayorkas.
I've interacted with the president countless times. I've said publicly the most difficult part about a meeting with President Biden is preparing for it, because he is probing, exacting, and quite detail-oriented and focused.
He's so tough.
Is that the gentleman you saw on stage last night, America? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. The morning began in earnest. The roundtables on CNN and MSNBC.
You are.
Yes.
Maybe they could have hired keeners, the old Irish keeners, to scream lamentations for him.
Well, it was a black mass, essentially, afterwards. Joy Reid.
I, too, was on the phone throughout much of the debate with Obama world people, with Democrats, with people who are political operatives, with campaign operatives. My phone really never stopped buzzing throughout. And the universal reaction was somewhere approaching panic. The people who were texting with me were very concerned about President Biden seeming extremely feeble, seeming extremely weak.
Extremely suggests that he was driven to feel that way. He was just basically like a piece of fluff. Piece of fluff.
Well, no. So of course the the aftermath includes damage control, includes an assessment of Biden's state of mind. And by that, I mean Team Biden and their state of mind. Is there really going to be an effort to persuade him out of the race? Because there is a desire for said effort that's being described by, again, the punditry of the left.
The same ones who protected him all this time.
Well, scales have fell from some eyes last night. Nicole Wallace.
And there is a conversation happening inside Biden's circle, and certainly a much more frank conversation happening inside the Democratic coalition. And I think there will be stories of a lot of concern about the performance tonight. And I think when you say
conversations happening, what do you mean?
I think people are talking. I think the conversations range from whether he should be in this race tomorrow morning to what was wrong with him. I mean, he has a cold.
Yeah, he has a cold. I don't think that's going to cut it. I know they started reporting that mid-debate after the first 30 minutes where he got routed and had some moments where he almost went to the canvas. I don't think he's got a cold is going to be enough.
It's
Mike,
like that great Gay Talese profile of Frank Sinatra. Frank Sinatra has a cold, but this wasn't it.
More like Comrade Brezhnev has a cold. Mike in Littleton, Colorado.
Yeah, good morning, and thank you for taking my call. I'm not gleeful about this at all. I think the Democrats got exactly what they wanted. The optics of no one could possibly vote for Trump, excuse me, they have. And, pardon me, I just got off the treadmill. And now they only have to replace him with somebody who looks plausible to get votes. That's what they're after. Ruthless people do anything. Thank you.
Thanks for the call, Mike. We'll pick it up there after we check in. Take more of your calls, 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. And we'll also bask in the, and I am somewhat gleeful about some of this because, I appreciate just desserts. We will bask in the tears of one Van Jones.
Revenge is a dish best served cold.
Yes, and my revenge is, America being successful, but it's also watching these mealy-mouthed leftists have to bail water. That's at 5:38. Now we check the headlines with Crystal Blue.
Good morning. It's 67 degrees in Chicago on AM 560 The Answer. I'm Crystal Blue in the AM 560 newsroom. Cloudy skies today with a high near 83. Precious Brady Davis is the first African-American trans person to serve public office in Cook County. She's one of 9 commissioners on the board of the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District of Greater Chicago. Brady Davis has also worked with young people at the Center at Halstead and on environmental issues with the Sierra Club. If you've got a cat or dog that freaks out about fireworks, you may want to get to your veterinarian today. Fox's Jill Nato reports.
The 4th of July is right around the corner, and face it, cats and dogs can often mistake those fireworks for warfare. If you know your pet's going to get crazy when fireworks go off, Dr. Rena Carlson of the American Veterinary Medical Association says,
you really need to get to your veterinarian. They can prescribe some really safe medications that pull down the anxiety.
If you can't do that, there are alternatives.
Taking them downstairs, turning the radio on.
You can also try tuckering them out with exercise or play earlier in the day to cut the anxiety. Or if worse comes to worst, you can hit the road with your pets and get them somewhere quiet. Jill Nato, Fox News.
News is a service of the daily podcasts of Chicago's Morning Answer and The Sean Thompson Show. Hear both shows with limited commercials when you subscribe for free to the daily podcasts at 560theanswer.com/podcasts. A check of the roads is coming up in 2 minutes on AM 560 The Answer.
This week on The Hill is the best way to get informed on everything going on with Congress. Hosted by Tony Perkins and the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson.
America should punish the ICC and put Karim Khan back in his place. And if the ICC is allowed to threaten Israel's leaders, we know that America will be next.
Stay informed and become a regular listener. This week on The Hill, Sundays at 1 on AM 560. The Answer.
This is Carol Platt-Liebau for townhall.com. In Murphy v. Missouri, the Supreme Court has taken the coward's way out. In a 6-3 ruling, it declined to rule on whether the Biden administration could coerce social media companies to censor and shadow ban people who disagree with it. It said the plaintiffs lacked standing, that those who sued hadn't shown a sufficient injury to bring the case. This ought to be distressing for everyone who cares about free speech. The Biden administration clearly engaged in censorship by surrogate, using social media companies to silence those it couldn't legally silence on its own. But there's good news. First, future plaintiffs can challenge the Biden censorship regime. Second, bad legal news is great political news. Donald Trump could and should make free speech a centerpiece of his campaign. Republicans in Congress can draft laws to protect our First Amendment and draw a contrast with our left-wing government censors.
As a business owner, do you have a strategy for exiting your business? Most business owners don't. Studies done by the Exit Planning Institute show 75% of business owners who don't have an exit plan are dissatisfied with their exit, and 80% of businesses put to market never sell. Total Clarity Wealth Management understands the hesitation to discuss exiting. Will customers leave? Will competitors take advantage? Will key employees leave? That's why they offer confidential planning. Contact Anne Marie at Total Clarity Wealth Management. Discover what the financial foundation should be to pursue an exit that is satisfying. At some point, you are going to leave your business. Will it be on your terms? Total Clarity can show you the way to financial readiness and keep you on track. Anne Marie is a certified exit planning advisor. Visit TotalClarityBusiness.com. That's TotalClarityBusiness.com. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advice offered through Total Clarity Wealth Management, Inc., a registered investment advisor and separate entity from LPL Financial.
Balance of Nature supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
My name is Dr. Zhang. I'm a doctor of podiatric medicine.
My name is Todd. I'm a paramedic firefighter. I've been on the job for 28 years.
My name is Dr. Peter Munda. I'm a chiropractor in New York, Long Island.
I've been taking Balance of Nature for 23 years.
I love Balance of Nature, and this is definitely a product that I would recommend to other people, and I'll never stop taking it.
How many 70-year-old pictures you know? As far as Balance of Nature goes, I'll keep taking this stuff until the day I die, you know?
I'm almost 55 years old, and because I have so much vitality, I can really enjoy the great outdoors. Our bodies are kind of like machines. If you do not give the machine the proper nutrition, it's not going to work very well. Simple as that.
Splash into your summer with our summer savings. Go to balanceofnature.com and get 50% off your first set as a preferred customer by using discount code Chicago.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
In the Team Hochberg Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak taking a look at the roads. It's wide open going inbound on the Edens. The Kennedy is clear as you head in from O'Hare to downtown. Inbound Eisenhower stop-and-go traffic 17th Avenue to Des Plaines at 26 minutes in from 390 into the post office. Stevenson, you're looking good from 355 into DuSable Lakeshore Drive. Open on the inbound Ryan as well. Skyway's clear. Northbound I-57. Traffic is a bit tight between 30 and Volmer. The Bishop Ford is clear, as is DuSable Lakeshore Drive. Tri-State, Jane Addams, and the Reagan all in good shape. Veterans Memorial Tollway moving quickly either way. Eastbound 80 traffic slows Chicago to Gauger with roadwork, and westbound 80 delays Gauger to Cherry Hill. Southbound 65 stop and go State Road 2 to 205th Avenue. Traffic is a service of In Grace with Pastor Jim Scudder Jr., now heard on Sunday morning at 6:30 on AM 560. Tune in and find hope as Jim Scudder explores God's Word and His Word each Sunday morning right here, AM 560, The Answer. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next, but now a check of your forecast from the National Weather Service.
Clouds and breezy, couple of brief showers this afternoon. The high today 82. Cloudy, warm and humid. Shower and thunderstorm tonight. Could see some flash flooding. Low 71. Clouds and sun. Thunderstorm around tomorrow. The high at 89. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560. The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and John Cass, famed Chicago Tribune columnist, now JohnCassNews.com columnist, in for Amy.
That was one heck of a debate, dude.
And you know what happened after the debate?
Van Jones cried?
Well, yes, but even before that, or concurrent with it, Joe Biden continued. He had to talk to his supporters that were in attendance, and he brought out some of the old classics.
Was his uncle eaten by cannibals?
No, but another one of your favorites.
Look, folks, you know, I shouldn't say this, but my brother always uses lines from movies. There was a famous movie about John Wayne, and he's working for the northern military, trying to get the Apaches back in the reservation. And they were lying like hell to him. And they're all sitting on a bluff. And John Wayne was sitting with two Indian, they were Apaches. And one of them looked at John Wayne and said,
storyteller.
"These guys are nothing but lying, dog-faced pony soldiers."
There you go. Now, is that when his brother?
Except he's just a liar. Look, folks, what's going to happen over the next couple of days is they're going to be out there fact-checking all the things he said. I can't think of one thing he said that was true. No, I'm not being facetious. But look, we're going to beat this guy. We need to beat this guy. And I need you in order to beat him. You're the people I'm running for.
Fact checkers are going to save him, John.
It was over within 30 seconds when the American people saw this shell of a man. And by the way, mentioning his brother, now I'm just an old broken down political reporter, but I thought his brother was known far and wide in Washington and the swamp as the bag man, family bag man.
Well,
yes?
he's also a
Is that
cinephile.
live? I don't want to.
He's a cinephile. He's many things.
Trouble.
He's many. Jimmy Biden is many things. He was asked about, as you're reflecting the immediacy of your performance, any concerns? Any concerns with your debate performance?
Mr. President, how did you perform tonight? I think you did well. Do you have any concerns there? Concern that you should have that you're not doing the job, your voice, your performance tonight. Do you have any concerns about your performance? No, it's hard to debate a liar. New York Times pointed out he lied 26 times. Big lies. He didn't tell the truth. Are you suffering from a cold? Your campaign says that you're sick?
Yeah, it's hard to debate a liar. Mm-hmm. It is. And that's what they got. He had a cold. It's hard to debate a liar. Hard to debate a liar, really.
We significantly increased the number of asylum officers. Significantly. By the way, the Border Patrol endorsed my position. In addition to that, we found ourselves in a situation where when he was president, he was taking separate.
The Border Patrol Union subsequently tweeted out, to be clear, we have never and never will endorse Joe Biden. So speaking of the fact checkers boomeranging on Joe Biden as much of everything else did last night.
Some of my closest readers know that I struggled for years to quit smoking. And I've been smoke-free for 3 years.
Nobody likes a quitter.
I know. Especially when Dan Proft wants to have a cigar with Sean and me, but I can't do it. However, last night, as I turned into CNN to watch their crying, I almost felt like having a smoke because...
Was that satisfying?
Oh, man, it was like, I don't know. I can't go into morning radio what it was, but here, from my brother, Nicholas, and you helped him get that piece published in American Greatness. Amid public commentary about a coup against Biden after his horrific debate showing last night, recall my article in January noting a longtime confidant of President Barack Obama has already floated the idea that Biden should step aside.
Yeah,
that was a while back, right, Dan?
Well, it was. I mean, these rumors have been afoot for a long time because if you don't put your blinders on, then you see Biden for the diminished individual that he is, and that's been the case for a long time. And of course, you don't become more robust in your 80s after you start to slide downhill. It just doesn't work that way. It's just not part of the human condition. I'm sorry, but that's a reality. And
I mean, I can't fight 10 rounders now.
Yeah, well, and
like Kane.
But I mean, you had this is why the tears are flowing at MSNBC and CNN, because they believe their own bull jive and that they were peddling on behalf of Biden. But these rumors have been, afoot, and of course the conspiracy theories. Everybody likes to speculate about palace intrigue rather than deal with reality because it's easier. But his inner circle. There are detractors. There are people that don't think he was the best candidate to take on Trump. They don't think he can win now, that believe he should be replaced. Right. I mean, Jimmy Carville is out and proud saying that every other minute. But David Axelrod poured some cold water on that yesterday, speaking of Obama world.
The point is now he is the nominee of the Democratic Party. This isn't the 60s, okay? Voters choose the nominee. He is the nominee. Only he can decide whether he's going to continue. And as you point out, and as Kate knows very well, this is a guy with a lot of pride and who believes in himself. And the idea that he's going to say, you know what, I had a bad debate, I think I'm going to walk away from this, I find it hard to believe.
Find it hard to believe.
Huh.
I don't.
Well, do you find it hard to believe that Jill will walk away because she doesn't want to walk away?
Well, right, and you just heard from Axelrod too. He knows Joe Biden pretty well. He's a proud guy who has confidence in himself. Talk about a guy who believes his own bull jive, and Joe Biden has been spewing fantastical, untrue stories about himself for 50 years. You don't think he believes his own bull jive?
They let him get away with it?
Well, I understand, but so this idea that this is just, a 1 + 1 = Joe Biden, walks away after that debate, I think it's a little bit more complicated than that. By the way, I also want it to be more complicated than that because I don't want him to walk away. I want him to be the nominee. Don't you? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. Pat and Lombard.
Yeah, Jen, didn't you notice after the first break that Joe came back with a little more oomph, like somebody gave him his medicine and he's coming back?
What, like a cocaine inhaler? No, I don't think so.
Thanks for the call, Pat. Well, he didn't come back. He was
puddle of goo,
listless, to be generous, in the first 30 minutes, and I mean,
it got worse
in round 2. As I said, he almost went to the canvas. He wobbled.
Making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID. With dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Saved by the Jake Tapper.
Saved by the Tapper.
Glenn in Orlando.
Yeah, good morning. I like to hear from all the people that said Joe Biden was sharp as a tack and robust, and I like to hear what they have to say now.
Thanks, Glenn. Well, you're hearing from some of them. Van Jones, literally brought to the brink of tears.
He didn't do well at all. He did not do well at all, and he looked. I'll give you the analysis. You kind of have the old man versus the con man. I can walk you through how I'm supposed to see it and say it, but I just want to speak from my heart. I love that guy. That's a good man. He loves his country. He's doing the best that he can, but he had a test to meet tonight to restore confidence of the country and of the base, and he failed to do that. And I think there's a lot of people who are going to want to see him consider taking a different course now. We're still far from our convention.
I love Brian Piccolo, and I hope you do too.
But the thing is about Brian Piccolo, he didn't cost anyone the majorities or their standing in the House and the Senate. And when these wobbly yellow jackets see what's coming for them, they're going to start piling on and screaming and tearing their hair out. And that's what's good. That is what will be beautiful to behold.
Well, it seems to me that there's not going to be a serious move on Biden to try to persuade him, you say push him out, perhaps, until and unless you see Democrats of prominence calling publicly for him to step out. And if he's recalcitrant at all, really putting the pressure on him, essentially coming at him from all angles to try to basically say, look, we're going to essentially ensure you can't win. We're all going to go down together. And maybe there's a lifeboat there for us. By the way, it's not so easy. It's easy to say the nebulous they that so many people, including on the right, have liked to talk about for the last year and a half. They are going to push him out. Who's the they? And they're going to replace him seamlessly with who with 130 days to go.
And deal with I'm sure sometime during this morning, we'll deal with the Kamala Harris problem. Because you've got a black vice president who's like, she's going to be raising the price. Every day this goes on, it's going to be higher and higher.
Well, to the extent that it goes on at all. When you have all the erstwhile contenders that are just off stage waiting for their moment, rallying behind Biden. Well, here was Gavin Newsom last night.
It's a non sequitur. I don't even understand the context of that. This is the President of the United States running for re-election. He's our guy. And that's part of the diversion tactic of the right, to continue to sort of muddy the waters on all that and that nonsensical speculation. It's just like the absurdity of who's going to get an injection shot. I mean, this is farcical. It's serious stuff. Democracy, freedom, liberty, rights. And to see it trivialized as we're trivializing it, even having these conversations, is really distressing to me as an American citizen, not just as a Democrat.
Yeah.
So some reporter asked him about what? That he's pulling his bully act. He didn't like it. He didn't like whatever he was asked. What was it?
Well, I mean, he's asking about Biden's standing to go forward.
All right.
Yeah, but I mean, and I understand that Governor Patrick Bateman there is this fork-tongued nymph. I get it. And he's just, providing cover on maybe for to try to, behind closed doors, provide some glide path that exits him stage left with dignity. But again, if he doesn't want to go, and there's no indication he does, and nobody is going to put pressure on him publicly to go, other than the punditocracy, which doesn't particularly matter. James Carville railing on a podcast is not going to get Joe Biden out of this race. Then it's not so obvious how this all comes together seamlessly in the relatively small window that Democrats have. But I mean, speculate away as you see fit. But I'm just saying, everybody was not everybody. A lot of people spiking the football yesterday who've been clinging to this conspiracy about Joe Biden ultimately being replaced, and they're setting him up for failure. Ron Klain and the people who've been with Joe Biden that constitute his inner circle for the better part of his time in public office are not trying to set him up for failure. They were trying to get him through this rite of passage as a presidential candidate, and they got caught. The one thing they didn't consider, which, by the way, was the thing that debilitated him in the minds of the American people, I think, more than anything Trump said last night. The one thing they didn't account for in all of the demands they made to do these debates with Trump: no B shots, no split screen, no cutaways. Only the person talking should be on screen, because the split screen
makes him look like worse.
The split screen, right from the very beginning, his mouth agape, sort of blank stare into the distance, somewhat reacting and sometimes not reacting to whatever barbs Trump was offering.
One of the eyes that were hanging down, it looked like he was a stroke victim.
Well, I mean, he looked completely lost, and his sort of resting face was that of a raccoon that reacts when you flip the porch lights on, and he's caught in the light.
But there's a little bit more animation in a raccoon than in that sack.
Maurice and Berwyn, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, Dan. But Dan, you had 160-year-old total on the stage. One. And two, let's not pretend that if you do get Trump up there, he's ushering in some great golden age of America. I mean, this is we're both stuck. Everyone's stuck in that sunk cost fallacy here at the stage. This is where we're at as Americans.
I'm not a member of a cult. I'm not a member of a cult.
I didn't say cult. We're all
I don't do cult.
The sunk fallacy. Sunk cost fallacy here.
The sunk.
And no,
the,
and
the
stop
sunk,
saying.
the,
And
the,
people
wait,
should stop saying it's not going to be Michelle Obama. It's not going to be Michelle Obama.
I know. I've been saying
That's
that.
ridiculous to
I've
say.
been saying that I've been saying that since 2016. Some people don't get it, but I get it.
And I'll say this last thing real quick, and I'll hang up.
Wait a second. Wait. The sunk cost fallacy. You're saying? Explain.
Where you get so invested in something that no one can pull it out. I feel like we're all stuck there. Everyone has invested so much into Biden and to Trump. Now no one can pull it out. We are where we are.
Yeah. Well,
it's
I mean,
everything is
because we had elections, we had primary elections, and these are the two gentlemen the voters chose. So I mean that we are where we are because that's how the system works. I mean,
of course it is.
Right.
And the third thing, this is me. Please, as an African American who has done everything, who pulled myself up by the bootstraps, please stop advertising Trump as he's got arrested just like you guys. My God, that drives me up the walls.
He's got what?
Nothing's offended me. He's got arrested like you guys have gotten arrested. Nothing's offended me. My college educated black friends, nothing more has offended all of us when we have heard that. We have been infuriated.
I agree with that.
People have been saying that.
I agree.
My God.
I agree.
My
with
God.
that.
We have been. Oh my God.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. But Maurice, I mean, that's not. I mean, that's really not something you're saying. You have to say to Trump has said it too, which he shouldn't say it because it is patronizing, and it's caricaturing black people as monolithic, which I hate that we do that at all. But this is the identitarian political culture in which we live.
You guys love Trump. Oh my God.
No. I've said from the beginning this idea like that this provides some kinship because he's been arrested or he's been convicted. I think is completely the wrong messaging, and I've said that from the outset. But you should also suggest that there's a lot of black people who are leaning Trump or are Trump fans that have suggested that too. So this is sort of a political messaging thing more so than a black-white thing. You know what I mean?
Well, here's your reality, and I'll tell you this. The people who are like, oh, we love Trump because he's been arrested. Hey, guys, the people who will agree with you because he's been arrested are the people who are probably not going to vote, or the people who are not that invested. People who have attended college, who have worked hard, are 9 times out of 10 are going to lean further away. We are the people who make over $100,000, who are the people who are not bombastic people. We're the people who did the right thing, have integrated ourselves into the system.
Yeah, I understand.
We're the ones who
I understand, Maurice, but you also have to understand college graduates, those so many who have been poisoned by college, black, white, Latino, other, not exactly Trump's wheelhouse. It is working class, middle income, black, white, brown, who maybe didn't go to college or have an associate's degree that are really the base and where Trump is cutting into the minority votes as well. That's the demographic. So I appreciate what you're saying, and I agree with it intellectually. But in terms of the market positioning and sort of the emotional connection, it's not so much he got arrested and convicted. It's that now he understands what it's like to be treated unfairly by the justice system. I think that's what people are really saying in simpler terms. But I do appreciate the call. Thanks, Maurice. All right, we'll come back. Obviously, top of the hour, and we'll take more of your calls. We've got a lot more to discuss about yesterday's debate, including some of the substantive responses on the issues of particular concern. That's all at 6:06. But now we need to check the headlines with Crystal Blue. Oh, right. Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah. So John Cass sitting in for Amy Jacobson, JohnCassNews.com. We'll also have more commentary from John Cass on last night's debate as somebody who is a keen observer and has been for almost as long as Joe Biden's been in public office. All right. Now it's time for Crystal Blue.
From breaking news and weather across the country to insight from the brightest minds.
I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
He's the worst president in the history of our country. He's destroyed our country.
159 presidential scholars voted him the worst president in the history of the United States of America.
And back and forth they went in the CNN presidential debate.
Our veterans and our soldiers can't stand this guy.
My son was not a loser, was not a sucker. You're the sucker. You're the loser.
President Biden and former President Trump sparred over the economy, wars overseas, illegal immigration, election integrity, and it got personal often. But much of the post-debate discussion is about President Biden's delivery, at times stammering, losing his train of thought. After one of those moments, former President Trump said,
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either.
Fox's Aisha Hosni reports.
You could feel a meltdown happening in the spin room. Reporters were looking everywhere for Democrats to come in. There are two camps of Democrats that are emerging. On one end, there are Democrats who are very disappointed and very stunned by what happened. The other camp of Democrats are marching on towards November.
President Biden went to a Waffle House late after the debate and was asked if he had any concerns about his performance.
No, it's hard to debate a liar. New York Times pointed out he lied 26 times.
The president will hold a rally today in North Carolina. The former president will campaign in Virginia. The Supreme Court could issue the Trump immunity ruling this morning as justices finish this term with decisions today and Monday. The former Uvalde, Texas police chief, Pete Arredondo, indicted for child endangerment more than 2 years after the elementary school massacre.
An 18-year-old gunman opened fire on a fourth-grade classroom, killing 19 students and 2 teachers. Police did not engage the shooter for more than an hour. Arredondo was the on-scene commander and later admitted he decided not to try and neutralize the shooter immediately. A report by the Justice Department found leadership failures.
Fox's Jack Callahan. America's listening to Fox News.
Good morning. It's 67 degrees in Chicago on AM 560 The Answer. I'm Crystal Blue in the AM 560 newsroom. Cloudy skies today with a high near 83. Hate crimes are on the rise in Chicago over the last several years. The city's Commission on Human Relations released Chicago's first annual hate crime and hate incident report at a joint city council hearing yesterday. The report found there were 109 incidents in 2021, 205 in 2022, 303 in 2023, and 124 through June 15th of this year. Grundy County officials are revealing the identity of a 1976 homicide victim. Joanne Vicky Smith's body was discovered in a ditch alongside U.S. Route 6 in Seneca in October 1976. The Ohio woman had been shot in the head and was eventually buried in an unmarked grave at the Braceville Gardner Cemetery in Braceville. Investigators exhumed her remains in 2018, and DNA was used to identify her. YouTube is giving its premium users some new exciting features. Fox's Eben Brown has more.
YouTube, the video playing app, already allows for background picture-in-picture play mode for its long videos, but now premium users on the Android app will be able to do the same thing for YouTube Shorts, the platform's short-form, constantly playing videos meant to compete with TikTok and Instagram Reels. Also on the way is smart downloads for Shorts when the app picks videos it thinks you will like and downloads them automatically for offline viewing. Both YouTube and Android are Google platform products. iOS users could see them in the coming weeks. Eben Brown, Fox News.
The Department of Justice is announcing healthcare fraud charges against almost 200 people. The alleged false claims equal over $2.7 billion. The defendants were charged across the country and include 76 doctors, nurses, and other medical professionals. The DOJ says it seized over $231 million in cash, luxury vehicles, gold, and other assets. News is a service of Team Hochberg. They've helped thousands of AM 560 listeners with the best rates and service. Let Team Hochberg help you by visiting 56david.com or call 855-563-2843. That's 56david.com. Lower.com, Equal Housing Lender. NMLS 1124061. A check of the roads is coming up in 2 minutes on AM 560 The Answer.
Brandon Tatum explains his view on the war in Israel.
To be honest, we need to stay out of it. We either need to support Israel or stay out of it. Israel is on the right side of it. These other people are devil, in my opinion. Not every single person, right? Because there's people caught up in the middle of that stuff. Just like in America. Joe Biden is the president, but most people don't believe in this fool. You know, I mean, I think most Americans are sick of what he's doing.
The Officer Tatum Show, weeknights at 8, right before Sean Hannity at 10 on AM 560. The Answer.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential.
But finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Go with your gut. Your dog's immune system is based in the gut. A diet lacking in nutrients can cause itching, scratching, and a weak immune system. However, there is a solution. DINOVITE. Dinovite.
It took a grand total of 2 weeks. The dog stopped itching, the hair stopped falling out.
Try Dinovite for free. Just pay shipping and handling. Learn more at dinovite.com/radio.
Happier, healthier with every bite. Over 1 million pets helped with Dinovite.
If you've got a military, first responder, or government service background, GovX.com is for you. You stepped up to serve our country and communities, and GovX delivers unbeatable deals that you've earned. GovX.com is the only site built exclusively to honor your service. Members save on thousands of trusted brands, tickets, travel, and more. See if you qualify. Visit GovX.com and join for free today. Use code RADIO15 in the shopping cart to get an extra $15 off your first order. GovX. Savings for those who serve.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I work for the New York City Fire Department. I've been using Balance of Nature for 8 years, I believe. It's been phenomenal. And I just got retired after 33 years. So I work long hours, a lot of overtime. I teach at the Fire Academy. I run with the mornings. I work out all the time. And your product has been so successful for me in my regiment. I have nothing but high praise for you guys.
Splash into your summer with Balance of Nature's summer savings. Go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 50% off your first set. Don't miss out. This offer is only available while supplies last. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this limited time offer by using discount code Chicago.
In the Team Hochberg Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak taking a look at the roads. It's wide open going inbound on the Edens. Lake Cook Road to Montrose. Kennedy starting to slow a bit. Foster to Montrose, 20 minutes in from O'Hare to downtown. Inbound Eisenhower 25, 390 into the post office. Stevenson in at 25 from 355 into DuSable Lakeshore Drive. And the inbound side of the Ryan slowing down at 15, tight 83rd to 71st. That is from 95th on in. Express lanes are slowing 35th to the Stevenson. Skyway and I-57 look good. Inbound Ford sluggish. Cottage Grove into the Dan Ryan. DuSable Lakeshore Drive, Tri-State, Jane Addams, and the Reagan all good. Eastbound I-80, that is heavy Chicago Street to Gauger as they are picking up overnight road work. Traffic is a service of the AM 560 Advantage. Membership has its privileges, including early access to event tickets, exclusive contest opportunities, and special members-only content. Join today at 560theanswer.com/join. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. But now check of your forecast from the National Weather Service.
Clouds and breezy, couple of brief showers beginning midday today, high 82. Cloudy, warm and humid, shower and thunderstorm tonight. We could get some flash flooding, low tonight 71. Thunderstorm tomorrow morning, otherwise clouds and sun, breezy, and the high tomorrow 89. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan, and in for Amy J this morning is John Cass, johncassnews.com. Have you gotten your subscription to johncassnews.com? If you haven't, it's only half a yard.
It's $50 a year, discounted, or $5 a month. And there are also John Cass News commercials, I'm told, running on this radio station.
You were told correctly, yeah. Mm-hmm. JohnCassNews.com. So we're talking about the debate. We're taking your calls for the postmortem. That term takes on new significance after Joe Biden's performance yesterday. I mean, I don't know how you look at that as anything other than a rout. And I know there's some damage control afoot in the D.C. press corps, as you would expect.
Trump lied, Trump falsehoods.
They're going to have a very difficult time. They're having a very difficult time. The images in the split screen of Joe Biden are indelible. And that's what most people are going to take away from the debate. And in addition to the moment where he froze up and some of his mumbling and blathering.
Who would be responsible for that split screen? Because whoever it was did not do him favors.
Well, right. And it was clear, Trump's instincts were right. It was clear that Trump was going to accept whatever terms that Biden demanded, because I'll do anything you want to get you on a debate stage. So his instinct was right on that. And maybe they could have gotten CNN to agree that the only person on camera will be the person speaking, and you wouldn't have seen Joe Biden's blank 1,000-yard stare every time Trump was talking. But unfortunately for him, everyone did, and everyone is not going to forget that. In addition to the fact that we know already, 8 in 10 Americans already believe that Joe Biden basically was mentally, physically unfit for the job, that he could not do a second term.
Right.
So it was, the whole campaign for Biden is, can I get you to hate Trump enough to overcome your belief that I am not up to the job? And that didn't happen last night.
Dan, he can't do 4 years. He can't even do 4 weeks. I don't know how long he can stay alive in that chair.
Well, Kamala Harris
she's ready. Yeah, she wants some.
No. Just like Gavin Newsom, don't press the panic button.
I'm not panicking.
No panic.
I'm loving it.
No panic at the disco. All right. A little bit of a slow.
Keep the puka shells on.
A little bit of a slow start, but her conversation with Gloria Vanderbilt's kid.
Some within your own party are wondering if President Biden should even step aside. What do you say to that?
Listen, first of all, what we saw tonight is the president making a very clear contrast with Donald Trump on all of the issues that matter to the American people. Yes, there was a slow start, but it was a strong finish. And what became very clear through the course of the night is that Joe Biden is fighting on behalf of the American people, on substance, on policy, on performance. Joe Biden is extraordinarily strong. And
but I'm sorry,
that
on
cannot
substance
be
and
debated.
policy and performance tonight, the president's performance tonight clearly was disappointing for his supporters. CNN is reporting Democratic lawmakers watching the debate were worried about the president's performance. One said it was a disaster. Another called it a train wreck. Those are Democrats especially worried that Biden did not punch back on Trump's lies.
What lie?
Listen, people can debate on style points, but ultimately this election and who is the president of the United States has to be about substance. And the contrast is clear.
Right. Our campaign is going to be about substance. Well, I hate to break it to you, Kamala, that is not going to be enough. Not nearly.
I think that went out the window when the Easter Bunny rescued Joe Biden on the White House lawn.
Well, but you heard Newsom and Harris circling the wagons for Scranton Joe.
What does she get? She lays down for what? Newsom, and then what?
Oh, I don't. All that stuff.
Let's game this out. This is what everyone wants to do now. Game it out.
I know, but
come on.
But it's not so obvious, and even to the extent that you wanted to map something out, it's not so clear the promises that you make that could be fulfilled, because there is this problem that the Democrats have with all the deals that they want to make. to move the chess pieces around. The problem is you have to win in November to keep any of the promises you're going to make to move people into the positions you want them for whoever is going to be the kingmaker here. So it's just a little bit more complicated than this is why people always say they are going to do this and they are going to do that. Well, who is they and how are they going to do it? Well, that's where it gets a little sketchy because it's actually quite complicated, isn't it?
Well, the boat won't float. You know?
You're gonna here. Well, they'll move him out and they'll promise that he won't be prosecuted. Oh, really? They're going to make a promise on behalf of the Trump administration. So when Trump is in and Ted Cruz is his AG, you're going to tell me that you can guarantee that they're not going to look at Joe, especially when Trump essentially offered a shot across the bow yesterday when the debate ultimately turned to the conviction in Manhattan, and Trump said, "What? You could be a convicted felon in the not too distant future."
That was a hot moment.
What is that? What do you think he's saying there?
I didn't have sex with a porn star, number one. Number two, that was a case that was started and moved. They moved a high-ranking official, a DOJ, into the Manhattan DA's office to start that case. That case is going to be appealed and won. We had a very terrible judge, a horrible judge, Democrat. The prosecutor were all high-ranking Democrats, appointed people, and both the civil and the criminal. He basically went after his political opponent because he thought it was going to damage me. But when the public found out about these cases, because they understand it better than he does, he has no idea what these cases are. But when they found out about these cases, you know what they did? My poll numbers went up, way up. You know that because you're reporting it. And we took in more money in the last 2 weeks than we've ever taken in the history of any campaign. I don't think any campaign has ever taken. Hundreds of millions of dollars came pouring in because the public knows it's a scam and it's a guy that's after his political opponent because he can't win fair and square.
Yeah. Pretty good riff. I mean, Trump, the other thing, just in terms of style points, but also substance, he did a very good job of diffusing the issues that were and are of concern, from J6 to the conviction to abortion. Right?
Yeah, he went when he started on J6. On J6, you talking about J6? It was the safest time in our country. We had a board. He riffed there, and I had seen that riff earlier, expressed for him on Fox News in the day, and he just came back with it. It was really masterful, and I think Kayleigh McEnany came
reminding people of the Pelosi tape that was just released, where I accept responsibility. Why isn't the National Guard here? Reminding people that he had offered the National Guard and that he was turned down and so forth. The only thing I wish he would have included, which we talked about when that Nancy Pelosi video came out of her talking to her chief of staff in the car on Jan 6, is saying, don't believe me, go talk to Capitol Police Chief at the time, Stephen Sund.
Right.
Whose account of what happened that day, what happened to the run up to that day, has been unchallenged and is quite an indictment of people who had the responsibility to implement the public safety plans on that day. And I was there to provide whatever resources they wanted, to greenlight whatever resources they wanted. I volunteered resources, and they didn't take me up on it. And all I did was give a speech telling people to go patriotically make their voices heard. And I'm some sort of insurrectionist. It's laughable. But I mean, on those issues, he did a pretty good job, and especially abortion. I mean, that's how bad the night was for Joe Biden.
How so?
Trump won the abortion issue.
How so?
Because he not only came across as sort of reasonable. The states decide. It's going to be different in Florida than it is in Illinois. That's what people wanted. That's what the Supreme Court held. I have exceptions. I'm a reasonable person. So you take, look, I'm a reasonable person. I'm not an ideologue on the issue. But there's the ideologue on the issue. These are people that will go to past birth invoking former Virginia Governor Ralph Northam. And yeah, I mean, we should listen to this because it really was masterful on behalf of Trump.
If you look at this whole question that you're asking, complex but not really complex. 51 years ago, you had Roe v. Wade, and everybody wanted to get it back to the states. Everybody, without exception. Democrats, Republicans, liberals, conservatives. Everybody wanted it back. Religious leaders. And what I did is I put 3 great Supreme Court justices on the court, and they happened to vote in favor of killing Roe v. Wade and moving it back to the states. This is something that everybody wanted. Now, 10 years ago or so, they started talking about how many weeks and how many this, getting into other things. But every legal scholar throughout the world, the most respected, wanted it brought back to the states. I did that. Now the states are working it out. If you look at Ohio, it was a decision that was an end result that was a little bit more liberal than you would have thought. Kansas, I would say the same thing. Texas is different. Florida is different. But they're all making their own decisions right now. And right now, the states control it. That's the vote of the people. Like Ronald Reagan, I believe in the exceptions. I am a person that believes. And frankly, I think it's important to believe in the exceptions. Some people, you have to follow your heart. Some people don't believe in that. But I believe in the exceptions for rape, incest, and the life of the mother. I think it's very important. Some people don't. Follow your heart. But you have to get elected also. And because that has to do with other things. You got to get elected. The problem they have is they're radical because they will take the life of a child in the 8th month, the 9th month, and even after birth. After birth, if you look at the former governor of Virginia, he was willing to do this. He said, we'll put the baby aside and we'll determine what we do with the baby, meaning we'll kill the baby. What happened is we brought it back to the states, and the country is now coming together on this issue. It's been a great thing.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was about as good as you could do, about as good as he can do, at least on the issue. And it put it right back on Joe Biden. Then when Joe Biden is asked about any restrictions that he would support, he just says, I support Roe v. Wade. Well, Roe v. Wade gave us the abortion on demand, taxpayer funded, no exceptions, no restrictions culture that exists right now and is particularly pronounced in states like Illinois and like California and like New York. So he did a good job presenting himself as, pragmatic and reasonable and a federalist, the dictator who wants to let the states decide, right? Oh, that makes a lot of sense. So, I mean, all of their arguments fall apart because of the positions he actually holds when he explains them properly, as he did there, and then pivots to really highlight the projection of extremism that the left is attempting. Mark's outside.
Good morning, Dan and John.
Hey, Mark.
After what transpired last night, what really concerns me is they still have one card to play, and that's the sentencing by Judge Merchan, and I don't think they're going to waste that card.
Well, what does that mean?
I think they're going to end up sending him to jail after what transpired last night. I just don't see them wasting that last card that they have to try and take him down.
Well, thanks for the call, Mark. They're going to have to send him to a CIA black site somewhere overseas because going to prison in this country, sending him to Rikers is not going to be enough to make up for last night. I'm sorry. I don't think so. But
and as soon as they do,
but July 11th is a big day. I agree that.
As soon as they do, they just elect him that day. I mean, he'll be elected. If they put him in jail, it's over for not only Joe, but for all the Democrats and all the Republicans. I mean, all the Democrats in the House and the Senate. And there are people who are in the Senate who want to hold on to that Senate.
It's like Biden's inner circle. Once you go all in, you can't go half out. They are all in, and so I agree there will be a prison sentence imposed, but
you agree that they'll put him in prison?
No, I agree there'll be a prison sentence imposed, and he will stay out on bond pending appeal, because I agree with you that if they took him into custody on July 11th to begin serving his prison sentence.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's over.
Yeah, it's over for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be a catastrophic move. I'm not saying they're incapable of it, but remember, if you think that's possible, then you can't also think these are brilliant strategists on the other side who are, have all of these complicated Rube Goldbergian conspiracies afoot that are going to be executed so flawlessly. If there's ham-handed enough, if you believe they're ham-handed enough to consider taking him into custody on July 11th, then that says everything you really need to know about their competence. Sean, Northwest Side.
Hey, good morning, guys. Great morning. You guys believe the second debate will happen?
No.
And secondly, what new demands will the Biden campaign try to implement before that second debate? Like, will Biden campaign request Joe Biden be up there with him? That his favorite stuffed animal be on stage? Something like that. Thanks, guys.
They'll request that Jamal Bowman is stationed near a fire alarm. That's what they'll request. They'll request. This was a good tweet. Did you see this? The Biden campaign has hired a translator, and you put him in a box on screen, and the translator is Ozzy Osbourne.
Oh, perfect. Bite a head off a chicken, Ozzy. That's all he can do.
The only person who could translate to Biden into English, Ozzy Osbourne.
We beat Medicare.
Paul and Carrie.
Morning, guys. I don't know. Last night, I would describe it as cringe riveting. It was unbelievable. And how dare the Democratic Party, his cabinet, Dr. Jill, put this man up for 3.5 years and suddenly, on the twilight of the election, suggest that, well, Father Time perhaps may have caught up with Joe, and he did have a poor performance. That's why he's been hidden all this time. I'd like to posit this with you guys, and if you'd like to dissect it, this is my thought. Over the next course of the week, 24 hours, what have you, he's going to be nudged, and it's going to be suggested to Joe, hey, Joe, unfortunately, Father Time has caught up with you. In the journals of the Democratic Party, they're going to write it down. It's going to be history that you put country before party. Joe decided to step down undue for any apparent
he's a hero.
reasons.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, he's a hero. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Paul. Yeah, maybe.
Doesn't anyone in the Democratic Party have a parent who's old and infirm? I do. I mean, my mom's 94, and I'm 67. I couldn't be president. I could not be president. And I see him, and I'm thinking, doesn't anyone have a dad who's gone through tough times? And can you say, Dad, this is not for you?
Well, but they're looking out for their own interests.
Yeah, they're whores, and they're using him because they're bagmen, and they have to make money from China and Ukraine and the fat mayor of Moscow's wife.
Again, before you write Joe Biden's political epitaph.
Okay, so I don't want to write that Friday for Sunday?
Well, I mean, you can. You can. I'm just saying,
Right.
when the passing actually occurs.
Right.
I mean, again, the New York Times, so the gray lady, the paper of record for the left, 6 takeaways from the first Biden-Trump presidential debate, like there needs to be 6. There were 6. But the subhead, President Trump made wild assertions and false statements.
How dare you?
But also seized on President Biden's shakiness. So it presents like, it was a
bad Trump.
No,
bad Trump.
No, it presents like, it was a draw.
Yeah.
Biden was a little shaky, but Trump lied. It was sort of a draw. So don't be so convinced yet that there is going to be this surrounding of Joe Biden and pressuring him from every direction to withdraw. That's not clear yet. Not to me.
I want to see Commander going home to the Biden house, rolling on the couch, going, "Come on, Joe, please."
Dawn in Naperville.
The American people already know the hardships that they're facing. This is an opportunity for President Biden to explain himself. And the problem is his own party really set him up for failure. This is the first time he's ever been questioned. The State of the Union was easy for him, right? All he had to do was read from a prompter. But this is the first time that he actually had to explain his chaotic foolishness. And what is he going to say for himself? That's why he got up there and he looked like a fool. I mean, everybody knows he's elderly. I mean, Trump isn't young either. But this is the first time he had to give accountability based off his foolishness, and this is why he failed.
Well,
how is he going to explain himself?
Well, right, but thanks for the call. But here's the thing. Yes, how is he going to explain himself? I guess substantively, but also does he have the capacity to offer explanation? As you say, reading from a teleprompter is different than having to think and speak extemporaneously. We saw that, and what he was trying to do, it seems to me, and I've seen this from candidates before, but who don't have diminished capacity, they're just vacuous. He was trying to remember what he's supposed to say, and
what they told me.
Right, but when you're trying to remember what you're supposed to say, when you're trying to recite the lines that they tried to drill into your head, and then you're diminished on top of it, it's a terrible combination.
Yeah.
And that's what you saw. Ben in Crown Point.
Hi, Dan. Hi, John. My basic point was it's just Trump had so many opportunities to go after Democrat policies. I mean, he talked about the border, and, we all know the situation there, but when they talked about black neighborhoods, they could have connected the immigrant taking over their public spaces, all the things he could have brought up. We're fighting against Democrat policies, and it's the Leviathan of the Democrats. It's not Biden. We all know he's old. He's whatever he is. But
we weren't there. Dan,
thanks for the call, Ben.
Ben, love Crown Point, by the way.
Yeah,
neighbor. But Dan Proft wasn't there. I wasn't there. You need like a pundit assist to go up there and bring all those things into play.
Well, yeah,
because these guys are concerned and they're scripted too, and they want to stick on their program.
Well, I also think too, sort of what Dawn from Naperville said, people know what they're experiencing, and when they're talking about, as they did to some extent, border security and the illegal immigration issue, people internalize it where they live. So people in Chicago are hearing that and thinking about those tent cities and the migrants and police stations and the migrant crime and so forth where you live. So, but yeah, I agree that certainly pulling out and offering a general indictment of the Democrat Socialist Party and all of the various iterations, including these governors and mayors that behave just like Joe Biden did from a policy perspective, that would have utility. All right, coming up at 6:36, we'll continue. We've still got a lot more. And one of the questions, too, is, thinking about all the backroom deal makers and the D.C. press corps, what about the leftist grassroots? How important are the left's grassroots in terms of Biden's future as the Democrat nominee? We'll start there at 6:36. Now we check the headlines with Crystal Blue.
Good morning. It's 67 degrees in Chicago on AM 560 The Answer. I'm Crystal Blue in the AM 560 newsroom. Cloudy skies today with a high near 83. DuPage County State's Attorney Robert Berlin says there will not be any criminal charges against the Carroll Stream officers involved in a deadly shooting earlier this year. Attorneys for Eugene Goodloe III's family said the officer who fired the deadly shot was terminated. Police shot Goodloe in his Carroll Stream residence in the Village Brook apartments in February after responding to a reported domestic violence complaint. A man is being sentenced to 15 years in prison on charges related to a deadly crash in Peoria. Demetrius Drummond was found guilty in April for unlawful possession of a weapon by a felon and reckless discharge of a firearm. Prosecutors say Drummond was at a party in October 2023. After arguing with another party goer, Drummond fired his gun in the air and caused a commotion in the street as people began to flee. During that panic, Kobe Johnson was hit and killed by a car. Mayor Johnson is pushing a series of citywide community meetings focusing on tackling violent crime. The mayor attended the kickoff session Wednesday in the West Lawndale neighborhood. As part of the meeting, Mayor Johnson hosted a panel discussion when he discussed his People's Plan for community safety and how the city will move forward in the normally violent summer months. News is a service of Crosscom Public Adjusters. If your home or business has an insurance claim, Crosscom will help you get what you need and have coming to you. They've helped thousands. CrosscomPublicAdjusters.com. A check of the roads coming up in 2 minutes on AM 560 The Answer.
Dennis Prager can see the strategy from the Democrats.
If he is in decline, what do the Democrats do? So I think that they're thinking he has to simply be, in effect, he has to be able to stand up and say a few sentences to run, because Kamala Harris has no chance of winning.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at 11, right before Charlie Kirk at 1 on AM 560. The Answer.
Quick delivery service. What do you need delivered today?
Hi, I'm trying to work through
through a last-minute to-do list for my boss? Can you deliver a hard drive to the Loop in Chicago?
We can deliver that today.
Okay, can you deliver 20 boxes to a client in Rockford?
We can deliver that today.
Can you deliver 12 pallets of tile to our customer in Naperville?
We can deliver that today.
Can you deliver a large envelope to Northbrook?
We can deliver that today.
Oh my gosh, I think my water just broke. Can you?
We cannot deliver that.
Quick Delivery Service delivers your package no matter the size. More than just a messenger service, Quick Delivery Service is a messenger and trucking service that can also provide scheduled routes for your daily delivery or your air shipment. Trucks are equipped to handle the load and provide ground-level service for same-day delivery. The Quick Delivery Service team of safe, licensed professionals can provide quick door-to-door service for your special delivery. QuickDelivery.com. That's QuickDelivery.com. We deliver that today. But we don't deliver this.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I work for the New York City Fire Department. I've been using Balance of Nature for 8 years, I believe. It's been phenomenal. And I just got retired after 33 years. I work long hours, a lot of overtime. I teach at the Fire Academy. I run with mornings. I work out all the time. And your product has been so successful for me in my regiment. I have nothing but high praise for you guys.
Splash into your summer with Balance of Nature's summer savings. Go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 50% off your first set. Don't miss out. This offer is only available while supplies last. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this limited time offer by using discount code Chicago.
Have you heard about the latest tax hikes? They're about to obliterate your savings and threaten small businesses. The government's 2025 budget shows a mind-blowing 87.4% hike in capital gains taxes. Yeah, it's bad, and it's set to decimate the stock market and your savings. Historical lessons teach us to preserve what we've built in times like these. That's where gold comes in. Prices have been on the rise in 2024, and they're predicted to surge even higher. There's no better time to start your precious metals portfolio and start making gold a priority with Priority Gold. Learn how gold can help diversify and preserve your savings. Call 1-800-405-GOLD. Mention GUIDE for a free gold information guide. Plus, see if you qualify for free shipping and storage. Act now to get your portfolio working for you while the market is golden. Again, call 1-800-405-GOLD and mention GUIDE, or visit PriorityGold.com/guide. That's PriorityGold.com/guide.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code EARN for an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first fill-up. That's promo code EARN.
In the Team Hochberg Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak, taking a look at the roads going in on the Edens, an 18-minute trip. Lake Cook Road to Montrose. Kennedy, it's a half hour in from O'Hare to the Jane Byrne interchange. Eisenhower 25, 390 into downtown. Stevenson at 25 into DuSable Lakeshore Drive from the Veterans Memorial Tollway. Inbound side of the Dan Ryan, 15 minutes. Express R Jam, 43rd at the Stevenson. Looks good though on the Skyway, I-57 and the Ford. DuSable Lakeshore Drive's okay. Jane Addams Tri-State and the Veterans Memorial Tollway, those are moving quickly. Eastbound 80 tight Larkin to Gauger, and southbound I-65. Traffic slows State Road 2 to 205th Avenue, wrapping up some overnight road work. This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Mattress Firm's July 4th sale is your chance to get matched with your coolest C's yet. Save $500 on Tempur-Breeze mattresses with free and fast delivery. All night cooling all summer long. Discover the difference the right bed makes. Restrictions apply. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. But now a check of your forecast from the National Weather Service.
Clouds and breezy, couple of brief showers this afternoon. The high today 82. Cloudy, warm and humid. Shower and thunderstorm tonight. Could see some flash flooding. Low 71. Clouds and sun. Thunderstorm around tomorrow. The high at 89. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560. The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan, and in for Amy J this morning, John Cass, JohnCassNews.com.
Good morning, everyone.
Talking, of course, about last night's debate. There's a lot of angles to it, and the splintering going on in Democrat socialist ranks
Love it.
is something that must be addressed. Cool hands like Reparation H, the VP Kamala Harris, and Governor Patrick Bateman of California, waiting in the wings, were the hey, slow start, nothing to see here. On the substance, Biden is the victor. This has to be decided on the substance. Trump is an inveterate liar. Biden had a cold. He has a stutter.
Jill will be a sympathetic figure before it's all gone.
So there's that coming from, Biden world, if you will.
Uh-huh.
Axelrod saying, hard to believe that Joe Biden walks away without really commenting on whether he thinks he should or not. But Cenk Uygur, the host of the Young Turks podcast, pretty popular on the left. This is where the grassroots comes in, and it's sort of the other side of the coin to the conservative grassroots and podcasts and talk radio. So can the grassroots put pressure on the establishment if they come to the conclusion that Cenk Uygur and his colleagues at Young Turks came to last night in the wake of Biden's debate performance?
And the whole time the split screen is killing Biden because he's got his mouth open. He looks confused, doesn't know where he is. He's lost his train of thought at least twice in disastrous shape. Those are going to be played 1 billion times in viral video after viral video. This is an epic disaster. I see people online saying, well, okay, that answer wasn't so bad. No, it doesn't. Any particular answer doesn't matter at all. This thing is over. He looks like he's barely surviving. I don't mean the debate, I mean life. And so there's no person that has a single brain cell left in their head who thinks that Joe Biden is the best candidate to take on Donald Trump. You would have to be even crazier than Donald Trump to think that. This thing is over. I'll guarantee you this. I would bet show me a Democratic politician and I will bet them any amount of money that Joe Biden's going to lose this election if he's the candidate. It's a guaranteed loss. You're telling me this is the most important election of our lifetimes? You're telling me that democracy's on the line and you're going to put on a guy who can't even talk, who can't even sit there and look normal. This thing's a bloodbath. He's going to get annihilated. That is, okay.
But they let him be the president for 3.5 years. So if he was a puddle of goo, why did they install him? Jim Clyburn, why did they install him? Jill, Medicare, what is Jill Biden?
Yeah.
Why did they install him? Barack Obama? Your meat puppet Joe. That's it. You gave him to us and now you want to walk away? No, you don't walk away. You don't get to walk away.
Tina and Joliet, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hi, good morning, guys. Hey, I just wanted to say that while everybody's focused on how horrible Joe Biden did, I hope people recognize how great Donald Trump was last night. That was a phenomenal debate for him. He was composed, he was on point, and he got some good zingers in. And the other thing that I walked away with was that with as many failures as that guy has in his personal life, he stood up there knowing full well that the full weight of the U.S. government and the three-letter agencies are going to come after him even harder and do whatever they have to do to stop him. And that man loves this country. He's there to save America from the progressive left, and it was very humbling. And I am blown away by how well that was the best debate of his life. That was the absolute best. I don't think he could top it.
It was good.
Thanks for the call, Tina. The first 30 minutes were outstanding. He was very measured and substantive in his remarks. He took the little shots and just sort of ignored them appropriately or turn them back around on the substance of the matter on Biden.
And your discussion on abortion, his handling of the abortion debate was masterful, and everyone, like the recent caller, everyone should listen to Dan talk about it because it was just good.
Well, and he did a good job on J6 and the Manhattan. I mean, he towards the end of the debate that there's got into some pettiness and a little bit of like.
It was Walter Matthau on the golf course.
Well,
think you're a 6 handicap bike cracky?
Well.
I
was thinking more about when they're like, "You're the worst president." No, you're the worst president. It's like I know you are, but what am I?
Yeah.
Kind of those some of those moments. I mean, that's like nobody cares about who ranking and just declarations about you're the worst. No, you're the worst. It's just it was a little silly, but the golf thing. He
kind of turned it away and said, "Let's not act like children."
That was one of the great moments in presidential debate history. We got an argument about golf like you would have at the clubhouse, like you would have at the 19th hole over beer. That was.
Like, who do you think you are, Prof?
That was the
Cass
best.
could kick your ass on the golf course.
This was the best. I love this. I couldn't believe it was happening. This was great. This was my favorite moment of the debate. Of course it was.
We knock on wood wherever we may have wood, that I'm in very good health. I just won 2 club championships, not even senior, 2 regular club championships. To do that, you have to be quite smart, and you have to be able to hit the ball a long way, and I do it. He doesn't do it. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. He challenged me to a golf match. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. I think I'm in very good shape. I feel that I'm as in good a shape as I was 25, 30 years ago. Actually, I'm probably a little bit lighter, but I'm in as good a shape as I was years ago. I feel very good. I feel the same. But I was willing to take a cognitive test. And you know what? If I didn't do well, I aced him. Dr. Ronnie Jackson, who's a great guy when he was White House doctor.
A+.
And then I took another one, a similar one. And one of them said they've never seen anybody ace him.
Thank you. President Biden.
You can see he is 6'5" and only 223 pounds. Or 235 pounds.
What?
Well, you said 6'4", 200.
Okay.
Well, anyway, that's
he should fire Rex
Just take a look at what he says he is. Take a look at what he is. Look, I'd be happy to have a driving contest with him. I got my handicap, which when I was vice president, down to a 6.
There you go.
But by the way, I told you before, I'm happy to play golf if you carry your own bag. Think you can do it?
What?
That's the biggest lie that he's a 6 handicap of all.
I was an 8 handicap.
Yeah.
8.
Never.
But I had, you know how many.
I've seen you swing. I know you swing.
Okay, let's
not act like children.
President Trump, we're going to turn.
Let's not act like children.
It's a little late for that.
I've seen your swing. I know your swing.
Carry your own bag. Oh, okay,
Yeah,
I'll carry my own
that's
bag.
so
Yeah,
lame.
get a carry bag. Carry my own bag. Fine. You know how Joe Biden's lying about being a 6? He then said, "I got down to an 8." Well, which is it? Are you an 8 or you're a 6? I'd love to have a driving contest. I can't believe Biden took the golf bait.
What, you're going to go to the driving range?
Oh my gosh, that was just, it was surreal.
He doesn't even know what it sounds like he doesn't even know what the game is, really.
Surreal. That was surreal to have the two nominees for president arguing about their handicaps.
Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon.
I'd be happy to settle the president. Forget the election. Sudden death playoff right now. Sun up. Championship tees. I'll host them at Olympia Fields. And let's just end it all. End it all today.
Loser meets 16 feet on the wall.
Loser goes to
Firing
prison.
Squad.
One goes to the White House. The other goes to prison. Ron, Southside.
Hey, John.
Ron?
Dan. Hey, guys. Hey, if it was a boxing match, they would have stopped it.
Yeah.
They would have threw it in and say, y'all, this enough of this, guys. It was embarrassment. And I agree with you. They're not going to run anybody else out. They're going to double down and run him back out, and it's going to be the same thing. But the only thing that he said and I hope African Americans were listening, he told them, yes, I would be disappointed too. Look at your communities. And I represent the Democrat Party, and your schools are horrible. no real jobs, and crime. So that was the only thing he said of substance. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for the call, Ron.
Don't forget Brandon Johnson talking about reparations. That's another thing. Perfect.
Bob, Buffalo Grove. Bob was at
morning, Dan,
Marcello's
and
last
great
night. Yeah, Marcello's.
great
Yeah.
to hear.
Hey, Bob.
Great to hear you, Mr. Cass. As you said, I was at the viewing party last night. It was a great event with like-minded people.
Did you have lemonade or unsweetened iced tea?
I had Cokes. I didn't drink.
All right.
But I think a few other people were drinking.
Oh, yes.
Sean sarcastically always calls me the old engineer or whatever. But let me offer, as a senior, I still recall the Nixon-Kennedy debate and probably saw all the debates subsequent to that. I never saw anything like what took place last night. It was just unbelievable. You hit all of my talking points this morning, so let me offer another one. And again, being a senior, I recall 1968 vividly. And Johnson was going to be the incumbent and the nominee, but he then surprisingly dropped out. And then it looked like with the primaries that Kennedy was going to be the nominee. And then in June, the
he got
party was
assassinated. Yeah, right.
he was
I know.
assassinated. And now, who was going to be the candidate? And they, by default, had to go to Hubert Humphrey, the VP, with a lot of baggage. And we know what the outcome of the 68 convention was, the election, and then parallel to that, with the convention, all the rioting.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Bob. I mean, that's one of the issues. And it's one of the reasons why who you think may be waiting in the weeks doesn't want the job, doesn't want the position as the nominee now.
If you're Michelle, why do you want to walk away from an easy gig?
No. Forget Michelle. I'm talking about people who actually want to be president. Michelle doesn't want to be president. I'm talking about real potential I'm talking about Newsom. I'm talking about Whitmer. I'm talking about Jelly Belly.
Oh, yeah, he does. He wants
right. So you think they want to come in to this excrement show with 130 days to go? And remember, most of the country doesn't know who these people are.
Right.
Or doesn't have, any real feel for them. Gavin Newsom is going to, make the ladies of the suburbs swoon, and he's going to, ride in on this wave of
Greasy Gavin with the hair?
Of generational shift. I mean, that is a theory. It's a theory that doesn't have a lot of evidence to support it. A Jelly Belly, Whitmer. Do you think these are white knights? I think most of them know they have enough sophistication to know they're not white knights, that they're cynical politicians that need to play angles in order to advance.
But the playing field is covered in excrement now. It's like 3 feet deep.
Yeah, I know, but my point is to say, so who really wants to do this if you could put together a plan to get it done? Who fits where? You assume that anybody will jump at the chance to leave their post to run for this office in this context. And what I'm telling you is this is not a very attractive place for any of those candidates to enter. And you're going to have a fractured party on top of it.
Agreed.
It's a bad landscape. They're lording over states that are catastrophes, particularly Pritzker and Newsom. And you got 130 days. You got to introduce yourself to the public. Trump is now going to be, if this went down, is going to appear to like William the Conqueror. I mean, he's vanquished Joe Biden. He drove him out of the race. Man. Yeah, right?
But you haven't talked about, or you have mentioned it earlier, but again, the hard left, the Marxists in the party, they're all Marxists, but I mean the supremely hard left. What are they going to do? How are they going to proceed? That's my question.
Well, you heard from Cenk Uyghur. I mean, they want Biden gone. But again, that's a temper tantrum. Tell me how you're going to orchestrate a plan that makes sense with the idea of victory in mind. Chris and Carrie.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Hey.
I had a friend of mine who is a big lefty call me mid-debate and say, oh my God, I can't believe he's this bad. My response to him was like, boy, you never turn off CNN, so you never actually see what's going on. And it's actually quite sad. I mean, I really feel bad that he's going through what he's going through. Despite what you may think of the guy, he is the president of the United States,
yes.
And it's a really bad look for the country. And I feel my heart goes out to the family because it's obvious at this point that he doesn't have the mental capacity, physical ability to continue, and it's really sad.
Thanks for the call, Chris. I mean,
it's our country.
I don't feel sorry for Joe Biden at all. I mean, I don't wish dementia or any sort of illness on anybody, including Joe Biden. That's not what I'm saying. I don't feel sorry for the position they chose to put themselves in, and he is a bad human being. I'm not going to. Oh, he's a
father, grandpa,
congenial, doddering old fool.
He's a creepy old man who took showers with his daughter.
And he's
enough. He's reprehensible.
And he's a kleptocrat on top of it.
Yeah.
So who's sold our nation's interests,
to the Chinese and the Ukrainians,
and compromised our security for a personal enrichment. So he's a bad human being. So I have no use for Joe Biden. Not wishing illness or death on anybody. But I'm also not going to this poor old man, and because it starts from this premise that he's an otherwise good person, he's just not up to the challenge. No, he's a bad person who's not up to the challenge.
He's a sentimental man. He's an evil man. He is an evil and sentimental man.
Very good. By the transitive property. Mark in Greenville.
Yeah, Dan and John, how's it going?
Hey.
I'm just seeing Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden playing doubles with Trump. It's sort of be like Mr. and Mrs. Havisham from Caddyshack.
That's a peach, hon. Thanks for the call, Mark. Jordan, Antioch.
Good morning, Dan. Good morning, John.
Hey.
Always a treat when I get to know there's a chance I might hear the word chumbalone thrown out on a work day.
You just heard it.
Don't be no chumbalone.
So this guy, Joe Biden's not going anywhere. I kind of thought he would, but he's not going anywhere. This guy is a narcissist. This guy is an egomaniac. I mean, look at his response to when he was asked a simple question about bribe money. Where's the money? And he turns around knowingly and says, go find it, right? This guy thinks he's untouchable. And the other thing is he knows, and so do the people around him know, that if he gets out, if he steps out or if he's either way, he knows what's going to happen when all this crap comes up to catch up with him, where Donald Trump was probably alluding to, you could be a convicted felon. He most likely will be, and so will a lot of other people. So I think he knows he's in it for the long haul. One, he doesn't want to step down. He's too prideful. And two, he knows what's going to happen if he does get out. So he's going to fight tooth and nail like a lion in the corner. And to add to your point about the other people that taken over this, Dan, I think you're 100% correct on all that, but I'll give you one thing. I don't think these people are so self-centered and so self-serving that they don't want the asterisk of the only reason I'm here is Joe Biden couldn't make it. I think they want it on their own after Donald Trump gets 4 years so they can build that reputation and that knowing, like you said. So thanks, guys. Have a good day.
Thanks, Jordan.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Let's see, if something costs less and people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, right? And that is Medi-Share, an amazing program. Maybe you've heard switching to Medi-Share to pay for healthcare can save families up to $500 a month, and that's huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch too. The member satisfaction rate for Medi-Share is double that of typical health insurance plans. Double. Medi-Share Works has been around for 30 years, and members have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a nationwide PPO network. So yes, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you want to just plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes and see what you can save. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here is the number you need, 844-94-BIBLE. That is 844-94-BIBLE, 844-94-BIBLE.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, Dan and John Cass in for Amy J this morning. JohnCassNews.com. Coming up at 7:07. Certainly there'll be more golf talk because our friend from Fox News special report, Brett Baer, joins John and I at 7:07. It is now 7 o'clock, AM 560 WIND.
It's not the debate Democrats hope to watch. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
You saw the greatest mismatch of a debate in the history of presidential debates.
House Speaker Mike Johnson just told Fox Democrats are rightly in a panic after the CNN presidential debate.
We're a failing nation, but it's not going to be failing anymore. We're going to make it great again.
Middle class have been devastated by you. Now you want a new tax cut of $5 trillion over the next 10 years, which is going to fundamentally bankrupt the country.
Former President Trump and President Biden got into it on the economy, abortion, immigration, and more, and it got personal.
The only person on this stage is a convicted felon is the man I'm looking at right now.
But when he talks about a convicted felon, his son is a convicted felon.
And while Trump critics say fact checkers are having a field day with what he said last night, the big focus, as Fox's Aisha Hasni reports, is on the president, whose voice was strained, that at times he stammered and stumbled.
Some Democrats were absolutely stunned by his performance, while others said that it was not good. I actually heard an audible gasp in the press room when it appeared that President Biden had sort of lost his train of thought.
Making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the with the COVID. With dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
President Biden will hold a rally today in North Carolina. Former President Trump campaigns in Virginia. He is still awaiting Supreme Court decisions.
Trump v. U.S., a landmark immunity claim by former President Trump in his federal election interference trial, and a separate challenge to a federal law used to charge hundreds of defendants in January 6th cases.
That's Fox's Jared Halpern. We will get more rulings from the Supreme Court in about 2 hours. And more also on Monday. America's listening to Fox News.
Good morning. It's 67 degrees in Chicago on AM 560 The Answer. I'm Crystal Blue in the AM 560 newsroom. Cloudy skies today, high near 83. A man will spend the rest of his life behind bars for killing his pregnant girlfriend and setting her Mount Morris home on fire in 2020. Matthew Plote was sentenced to a natural life sentence for first-degree murder, 60 years for the intentional homicide of an unborn child, and 15 years for residential arson. Prosecutors say Plote strangled Melissa Lamish in November of 2020 before setting her Mount Morris home on fire. The victim was days away from giving birth to a baby boy at the time of her death. An investigation is underway following a deadly shooting in Rockford. Police say Markel Reddick was found shot Wednesday in the 1000 block of Haskell Avenue. He died later at the hospital. No one is in custody. One person is wounded following a shooting in Champaign. Police say a man was found shot early yesterday in the 700 block of Mattis Avenue. He was taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries and remains hospitalized in stable condition. No arrests have been made. The LaSalle County Sheriff's Office is searching for a missing woman. Sarah Petrich has been missing since June 26th from her home in Sheridan. Anyone with information is asked to contact the LaSalle County Sheriff's Office. More than $1 million worth of collectible stamps were seized by federal agents in Seattle during a fraud investigation. Federal prosecutors say suspects impersonated government agents and targeted elderly and vulnerable people. They'd claimed their bank accounts were breached and they needed to send money to protect it. The money was used to buy collectible stamps from an auction house. A $10,000 reward is being offered for information leading to the arrest and conviction of a man wanted in the murder of a National Guard member in Chicago. The feds have indicted both Gary Robertson and Joseph Matos in the July 2021 shooting death of 19-year-old Chris Carvajal in the Belmont-Cragen neighborhood. Robertson is behind bars, but Matos, who is considered armed and dangerous, is still on the loose. News is a service of Team Hochberg. They've helped thousands of AM 560 listeners with the best rates and service. Let Team Hochberg help you by visiting 56david.com or call 855-563-2843. That's 56david.com. Lower.com Equal Housing Lender. NMLS 1124061. A check of the roads coming up in 2 minutes on AM 560 The Answer.
Charlie Kirk explains what goes into the VP pick.
Whomever Donald Trump selects as VP is going to have to wear multiple hats. It's going to have to be someone who can help the movement and not bring it down. It has to be someone that excites the base but doesn't turn off independent voters. And of course, if they try to throw Donald Trump in prison, someone who can help run the government.
The Charlie Kirk Show. Afternoons at 1, right before Sebastian Gorka at 3 on AM 560. The Answer.
Are you turning 65 and thinking about Medicare? Or are you over 65 and haven't enrolled yet because you still have coverage at work? Either way, Medicare done correctly will be the best health insurance you will ever have. Imagine having an annual deductible of only $240. There are only two good things about aging, wisdom and Medicare. But to navigate the Medicare maze properly, you need a mentor. Best part, my guidance cost you nothing. Call me. I can help.
If you're tired of calling a bureaucrat at an 800 number to help you navigate Medicare, then you need a local expert on your side, your own health insurance mentor. C. Stephen Tucker from healthinsurancementors.com is someone I know and trust. He's a 30-year licensed broker who's been educating our listeners for more than a decade. Steve, how can our listeners get in touch with you?
Thanks, Dan. They can visit healthinsurancementors.com or call me directly at 630-674-1551. That's 630-674-1551.
Your pet isn't just a pet, they're part of your family. Most of the pet food on the market is cooked at high temperatures, which kills nutrients. A scoop of Dynovite is a 3-in-1 daily supplement, adding back key nutrients to your pup's health. Try Dynovite for free. Just pay shipping and handling. Learn more at dinovite.com/radio. That's dinovite.com/radio.
Happier, healthier with every bite. Over 1 million pets helped with Dynovite.
If you've got a military, first responder, or government service background, GovX.com is for you. You stepped up to serve our country and communities, and GovX delivers unbeatable deals that you've earned. GovX.com is the only site built exclusively to honor your service. Members save on thousands of trusted brands, tickets, travel, and more. See if you qualify. Visit GovX.com and join for free today. Use code RADIO15 in the shopping cart to get an extra $15 off your first order. GovX. Savings for those who serve.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owed the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
In the Team Hochberg Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak taking a look at the roads on the inbound Edens. It's a 20-minute trip, Lake Cook Road to Montrose. Kennedy inbound at 38, O'Hare into the Jane Byrne interchange. Eisenhower checking in at 35, 390 into the post office. Stevenson inbound a half hour, 355 into DuSable Lakeshore Drive. 18 minutes inbound Ryan, pretty tight 47th to 18th, and the express lane slow 51st to the Stevenson. Skyway and 57 look good. Ford inbound stop and go Cottage Grove into the Ryan. Now the Tri-State northbound, there's an accident at Dixie Highway. 2 right lanes are blocked. Very heavy into that scene. No troubles along the Jane Addams, Reagan, or the Veterans Memorial Tollway. And eastbound 80 stop and go Larkin to Garger, wrapping up overnight road work. Traffic is a service of Dan and Amy 24/7. You can now enjoy uninterrupted programming from Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson around the clock all day, every day, including daily replays of Chicago's Morning Answer. Listen now at danandamy247.com. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next, but now a check of your forecast from the National Weather Service.
Clouds and breezy, couple of brief showers beginning midday today, high 82. Cloudy, warm and humid, shower and thunderstorm tonight. We could get some flash flooding, low tonight 71. Thunderstorm tomorrow morning, otherwise clouds and sun, breezy, and the high tomorrow 89. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan, and in for Amy this morning, John Cass, JohnCassNews.com. The John Nichols piece in The Nation yesterday in advance of the debate. Biden can trounce Trump in tonight's debate. Here's how. And the how was to hammer a key proposal about taxing the rich to protect our social services. Point is this. The left was engaged in suspension of disbelief right up until Biden took the stage last night. And they got caught believing the bullshit they've been spewing for years to prop him up. Getting jacked up to read a speech is not the same thing as having to think and speak extemporaneously. They went all in, and
they're children.
Trump had a couple of aces in the blind.
They're children. They believe their own BS.
But this is why it was a funeral setting on the sets of MSNBC and CNN yesterday, exemplified nicely by Joy Reid at MSNBC.
I, too, was on the phone throughout much of the debate with Obama world people, with Democrats, with people who are political operatives, with campaign operatives. My phone really never stopped buzzing throughout. And the universal reaction was somewhere approaching panic. The people who were texting with me were very concerned about President Biden seeming extremely feeble, seeming extremely weak.
And seeming like he needs to be replaced. For more on this, we're joined by our friend Bret Baier. Of course, he is the host of Fox News Special Report, weekdays, 5 p.m. Chicago time. Also the best-selling author of To Rescue the Constitution, George Washington and the Fragile American Experiment, and the History Club, Duel Across Time. Bret, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Morning.
Panic at the disco on the DNC and the Democrat side after last night's debate. I know Newsom and Kamala Harris tried to put on brave faces, but what's your handle on how quickly or not this could unwind for Biden?
Talking to senior Democrats high up, the quote is, "It's over, and we are effed, and it could be over by Monday."
Really? And
that they're going to move quickly to try to figure out how the logistics are to replace him as the nominee.
And I mean, is it clear who would step in? I mean, who actually desires to step in this context?
Well, there's many who desire, but it's just a question of how you can do it. I mean, Gavin Newsom is probably the guy that we talk about the most. But remember, you have Kamala Harris in the second spot there. And it's a sticky thicket. They are going to figure it out, though, and there will be another nominee that comes forward probably next week.
Really? You think, I mean, and if Biden resists, because obviously he has a veto on this, then what, they go public on him? They take it public?
Yeah, I think it is a full-on implosion. And, there's a lot to be answered for. The 16 aides who worked with him for 7 days at Camp David, Dr. Jill Biden, everyone knew at some point over the last 8 days that this at least was a significant possibility of happening before he walked out on that stage. And, it comes just 1 week after the White House and the Democratic establishment was ripping on us for running videos of him walking off stage or getting, dragged off stage by former President Obama, calling
deep fakes.
Yeah, right.
Deep fakes.
Right.
I mean, this was 90 minutes, and it was raw. And for people who are shocked, it's only because those channels have never covered this element of President Biden.
Well, the aides too, in terms of what they knew and what the risk factor was. In addition to, they basically could have demanded whatever terms they wanted with respect to the debate, because Trump, his instincts were right. I just want to get him on stage. I don't care whatever you want, I'll do just to get you on stage. So one of the things they clearly should have done, because this was as debilitating for him as anything Trump had to say, is the reaction shots. Because, I mean, the reaction shot in the first 30 minutes was the end of the debate.
The first 5 minutes was the end of the debate.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Yeah.
I think it was 10 minutes after, but you look at the preamble and all of that stuff, it basically his first words were so raspy and weak, and then he has that freezing moment where he stops and says, "We killed Medicare." It was the most surreal thing, and it happened all at the top.
So, what do you think? This is John Cass. So, what do you think Kamala Harris's price is going to be?
I actually don't know. I think this is all. It's just all up in the air. I think there probably has to be a replacement of her in the ticket because her stuff is, her poll numbers are less weaker than his, believe it or not. Right. But maybe not after this debate last night.
Well, as I said, Newsom and Harris, their media reaction, unsurprisingly, was to essentially try to downplay how disastrous it was, doing a little bit of damage control. But I mean, what can the DNC do if there is resistance? I mean, they can't just extract the delegates from him and hand them to somebody else, can they?
No, he has to be a willing party. And it will take probably former President Obama or Michelle Obama or someone to actually talk him to this place that the Democrats I'm talking to say he will get to.
Really?
It's so devastating.
So they think that, I mean, just to be clear about it, short of Rocco and Moose, you think that he can be persuaded out. They think that he can be persuaded out if done gently enough with enough dignity.
Yes, because you cannot come back from what we saw last night. You can't. Now, here's the crazy part, is that, former President Trump didn't have the best debate. I mean, he did hit on immigration again and again and again, but he, had opportunities to go to a very positive place and a vision, and he didn't, but he hit the marks. And all he had to do was stop talking when the mute button went on, because the rest of the debate was what was happening to President Biden. And because it happened so early, I think it affected everything.
Yeah. I was explaining to John Cass, how, because he's not a golfer, how I know Joe Biden never got down to a 6 handicap, Brett?
How's that?
Because he said, I got down to an 8 right after he said I got down to a 6. So, you know your index, you know what I'm saying? You're a golfer.
It was one of the best lines of the night. I've seen your swing. You're not a 6.
I cannot. That's my favorite moment in presidential debate history is two guys arguing about their handicap, just like we would at the 19th hole.
But at that point,
better than John Kennedy. Yeah.
Yeah. When they were going back and forth like that, it was sort of like the old guys in the Muppets. They were just going back and forth.
Statler and Waldorf.
You're gonna carry? Can you carry your bag? It was surreal.
It was wild. I know. All right, we know you have work to do this morning. Bret Baier, host of Fox News Special Report, weekdays 5 p.m., as everyone knows. Thank you for spending time with us, Bret. Appreciate it.
You bet. You bet.
And Bret joined us on the Turnkey.pro answer line.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM 560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential. But finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I work for the New York City Fire Department. I've been using Balance of Nature for 8 years, I believe. It's been phenomenal. And I just got retired after 33 years. I work long hours, a lot of overtime. I teach at the Fire Academy. I run with the mornings. I work out all the time. And your product has been so successful for me in my regiment. I have nothing but high praise for you guys.
Splash into your summer with Balance of Nature's summer savings. Go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 50% off your first set. Don't miss out. This offer is only available while supplies last. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this limited time offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
With over 3 decades of serving up streetwise insight and local perspective on Page 2, the voice of John Cass has a home at johncassnews.com.
I'm John Cass, and for too long, so-called progressives have been ruining our world. They've been stepping on us. They've twisted everything from the schools to the media in the hopes of crushing our liberty. Traditional media, mainstream media, like the paper, and anything else you see on TV, well, they're in on it. And that's why you need to join me at johncassnews.com for your daily cup of Midwestern common sense. Don't be a chump alone. Join me on the new frontier of independent journalism at johncassnews.com, where freedom and liberty still mean something. They mean everything.
Go to johncassnews.com to subscribe for daily access to podcasts and columns from John Cass and others. That's johncassnews.com. Click on subscribe.
At Catholic Cemeteries of Chicago, we honor traditions, celebrate faith, and cherish memories. Take an active role in establishing your legacy for future generations by pre-planning your final arrangements today. Alleviate your loved ones of future financial burden. Lock in today's prices and take advantage of interest-free financing and no hidden fees. Visit CatholicCemeteriesChicago.org or call 708-236-5490 to schedule a free consultation today.
Bad decisions limit future options. Make enough bad decisions and you'll destroy your life. Listen to The Flatline with Rick Hughes this Sunday morning at 7. The Flatline describes a main line of resistance in your soul built on God's Word. Listen this Sunday for inspiration, motivation, education, all without manipulation. That's The Flatline with Rick Hughes this Sunday morning at 7 on AM 560. The Answer.
One of the most important decisions you can make as a parent is where you send your kids to school. But these days, it's never been harder to know which school is best. Public schools have changed a lot, and you might be thinking about sending your child to a private Christian school. But you also know that private school can be expensive, and in this economy, you might think it's not an option. Well, think again. With HalfPriceSchools.com, you can purchase tuition vouchers for half the price of normal tuition for private schools. For nearly 10 years, HalfPriceSchools.com has helped families from all over Chicagoland make the dream of private school a reality. And that can be the reality for you and your child, too. Just go to HalfPriceSchools.com, search for a private Christian school near you, and purchase a voucher. It's that easy. Visit HalfPriceSchools.com. That's HalfPriceSchools.com.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hi, I'm Paul Jenkins, owner of Bancroft Architects and Engineers, a service-disabled veteran-owned small business providing design solutions for clients, including the VA. When looking for a trusted banking partner, Bancroft was lucky to find that partner in Signature Bank in 2015. With Signature, personal service goes beyond a login and a PIN number. My staff and I have the comfort of knowing that we're dealing with real people who know our business and care about us as individuals. Signature helped finance our new state-of-the-art facility, and Bancroft looks forward to further expanding business opportunities for disabled veterans and historically disadvantaged communities.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential. But finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ziprecruiter.com/free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free. ziprecruiter.com/free.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and John Cass in for Amy J. So we were just talking to Bret Baier, and pretty stunning what Bret Baier had to say. If you missed it, to repeat, the short of it is he has talked to senior Democrats who are moving on Joe Biden like right now, that it's over, we're effed, is what he said, they said. And they are going to move on him privately. They believe they can persuade him out of the race, maybe as soon as next week.
By Monday.
And maybe as soon as, and if they can't, then they're prepared to go public in opposition to him to put that much more pressure to get him out, because of course he has to be a willing participant, as we've talked about for the better part of the last year. Now that this has transpired, that's pretty stunning that they're moving this quickly.
There's nothing more attractive than backstabbery among the Democrats and panic. I'm just loving it. I think, honey, if you're listening to this, I'm not going to smoke, but I really want to.
Well,
I really want to have a cigar with Dan and enjoy this moment.
You know, as somebody who is a part of a candidate replacement soap opera on a smaller scale, the U.S. Senate level here in Illinois, back when Jack Ryan withdrew from that race against Barack Obama, ironically enough, full circle. It is more complicated than, as I've been saying for all this time, it is more complicated than they are going to get him out of the race. It really depends on
who's they.
Well, and also the who they're trying to get out, and what their interests are, what sort of intestinal fortitude they have. Jack Ryan couldn't weather the storm. Maybe Biden believes he can. We'll see. Apparently, though, they're not taking a wait-and-see approach. They're not senior Democrats, I assume, from Obama world, are not taking, let's see if we can figure this out. It was just one bad night. It wasn't one bad night. The problem is it signaled that Joe Biden will never have a good night. A good night is not possible. That's different than having a bad night. The other thing is they had done such a job of hiding him from so much of the public for so long. But when you have the tens of millions of people tune into the debate and they see what they saw, they can't unsee it.
And you have all those Democrats who watched only CNN and the BS of MSNBC, not reality. And then they're surprised, like, oh, my God, I didn't know he was so bad.
Right.
Yes, he is.
Well, they're surprised, but also some of them may feel a bit misled. Like, oh, they were lying to us. Now I have to confront that I've been lied to by my outlet of preference.
But Jake the Snake lied to me?
It's a tough next day for a lot of the left in America.
Well, I got my Sunday column out of this, so it was good that I woke up early to join you, sir.
Indeed. Peter in Hanover Park, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Hey.
I just wanted to say that last night was definitely must-see TV, but when it got to the golf thing that Trump started, I thought I was watching Caddyshack with Rodney and Ted Knight in the pro shop first, and then when the contest took place out on the golf course, I thought I was watching Caddyshack.
Yeah,
I want this reprised with Dan and Bret Baier to redo it, like in a. I mentioned at one of the breaks this. I want to see the two of them at the Market Park Lagoon golf course.
I don't think you're going to see Bret Baier and I in a public track. But we
too much riffraff.
We could do it at Olympia Fields, and we don't want to play a 5-hour round. We don't do that. Particularly Brett Baer. I'm a regular guy, but Brett Baer is in the pantheon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
David and Winnetka.
Hey, good morning, guys. Dan, as you point out often, admittedly, I don't know a lot about politics, and I started paying attention in 2020. My question is that Biden's been saying these kind of things throughout sound bites for the last 4 years. I stopped making fun of him about 2 years ago because he's a guy that needs to be in medical. He needs some medical help around the clock. And it's just, where were these people the last 4 years? How come all of a sudden they're gasping? Like, wait, what?
Yeah, right.
Well, thanks for the call, David. Here's where
there are beds that shout an alarm if you get out of the bed. I know that.
Well, here's where they were. They were consuming the curated agitprop of the D.C. press corps and all the flacks for Biden, like his White House spokeshuman.
And I spent sometimes countless hours with him, whether it's in the Oval Office, whether it's on the road. And I believe, for me, you're asking me my personal opinion, he is sharp. He is on top of things. When we have meetings with him, with his staff, he's constantly pushing us, trying to get more information. And so that has been my experience with this president.
So you had Leonid Brezhnev, spokeshuman there, telling you that he's sharp and on top of things. You had your Department of Homeland Security secretary, the guy in charge of
Mayorkas,
the guy who has material control over our national security interests, like border security.
Yeah.
And this is what he says about POTUS.
I've interacted with the president countless times. I've said publicly the most difficult part about a meeting with President Biden is preparing for it.
What a fraud.
Because he is probing, exacting, and quite detail-oriented and focused.
Exactly. So Mayorkas spends most of his time probing Biden's anal cavity, and then he goes on CNN and he says these things, and then that gets platformed and it gets distributed, and people are living in their own echo chambers.
You forget one thing.
So
Jake Tapper listening to it, stroking his chin, like, very interesting.
Yeah, right. Yes. So so this is how such a wide swath of the American electorate can be guffawed by what they saw last night. All right, coming up at 7:37, we'll press on. Especially with that breaking news, if you will, from Brett Baer on how quickly this could turn. I have a question for you, Mr. Cass.
Yes, sir.
How do you think Jelly Belly Pritzker was viewing the debate last night? Because there's an image in my mind, and I want to see and hear what yours was, what you think he might do to try and position himself, since he has the DNC, to be the man. Could we see a JB for POTUS before next week is out at 7:37? Now we check the headlines with Crystal Blue.
Good morning. It's 68 degrees in Chicago on AM 560 The Answer. I'm Crystal Blue in the AM 560 newsroom. Cloudy skies today with a high near 83. A search continues for a Chicago woman who went missing in the Bahamas. Police say Taylor Casey was last seen June 19th in the area of Paradise Island. She was attending a month-long retreat with Yoga Retreat Bahamas to become a yoga instructor at the time of her disappearance. Authorities say they found her cell phone in the water there. U.S. Senator Dick Durbin is recovering from hip replacement surgery. The procedure was performed yesterday morning at Rush Medical Center in Oak Brook. The Illinois Democrat said he looks forward to a speedy recovery. Durbin will stay in Illinois until he's cleared by his doctor to return to Washington, D.C. No one is hurt after a freight train derailed in Madison, Illinois. Officials say a mandatory evacuation order was put in place yesterday following the derailment of 25 cars on a Canadian National Railway train near 218th and Main Streets. The incident resulted in at least one car leaking a white, powdery substance. Madison officials lifted the evacuation order for residents later in the afternoon. The cause of the derailment is under investigation. Chicago Blackhawks center Connor Bedard is this year's winner of the Calder Trophy. The Calder Award is given to the Rookie of the Year in the NHL. Bedard led all rookies in 2023-24 in goals with 22 and points with 61. News is a service of Salem Surround, providing your business with industry-leading digital marketing strategy designed to surround your target audience and drive action. Go to surroundchicago.com today. A check of the roads coming up in 2 minutes on AM 560 The Answer.
Dr. Sebastian Gorka is confused.
I'm so puzzled.
as you, I am sure, also are, by the fact that we've been told for 3.5 years that there is no crisis at the border. Everything's fine. But now you have to have a national address saying that asylum seekers must come here legally.
America First with Dr. Sebastian Gorka. Afternoons at 3, right before Sean Thompson at 4 on AM 560. The Answer.
Can peace of mind fit into just 3 fruits and 3 veggie supplements? Yes. We start by sourcing the best fruit and vegetable ingredients. We ensure that all our produce meets our rigorous standards in order to give you the highest quality product possible. They are then washed, cut, and put through an advanced vacuum-cooled process that removes the water using pressure. We then take great care in grinding them into a fine powder. These powdered ingredients are then mixed and encapsulated, locking out air and moisture. The capsules are then bottled and shipped right to your door so you can experience your own personal Balance of Nature success story.
I've looked at other supplements out there, and they don't have what Balance of Nature has.
Balance of Nature really was the game changer. I'm serious, it works.
Splash into your summer with our summer savings. Go to balanceofnature.com and get 50% off your first set as a preferred customer by using discount code Chicago.
All right, people, let's get this meeting started.
Where are the chairs?
Gone. Research shows standing meetings are quicker.
What research is that?
Topic 1. CDW helped us deploy Mac Supercharged by Apple Silicon for the way we work now. So how's their speed?
Fast.
Battery life?
Long.
Cyber threat protection?
Strong.
Ownership costs?
Low.
Great. This meeting is...
Adjourned. Wow, that was fast.
Yep, that's the research.
With Mac configured by CDW, a solution that works for everyone isn't just possible, it's powerful. Find out more at cdw.com/getmac.
Rick Borick, host of Unleash Your Wealth, talks about the importance of tax planning in retirement.
A qualified financial planner can take you through all the steps to show you every single legal way you can use to reduce and minimize your state income taxes across the board so that, again, you keep more of your money and your family keeps more of your money.
Unleash Your Wealth, Saturday at 7 a.m. and our new time at 2 p.m. here on AM 560, The Answer.
Would you go to court without a lawyer when the other guy is lawyered up? Or are you going to go it alone and learn law and procedure as you go? When you have an insurance claim for your home or business, it's the same thing.
This is Dan Lights from Crosscom. We inspect your property, file your claim, negotiate the damages, and maximize your settlement with your insurance company.
Insurance companies will send out their inspectors that work for them, get paid by them, and represent them. Not you.
If we complete the repairs approved by your insurance company, our service is free. Crosscom Public Adjusters has turned denied claims into approved claims. We've also increased insurance claims anywhere from 23 to 1,000%, and we could do the same for you. We are licensed by the Department of Insurance and work in Illinois, Northwest Indiana, and Southern Wisconsin. Crosscom Public Adjusters, 630-871-5500. Online at crosscominc.com. That's crosscominc.com. Crosscom. Building trust for over 20 years.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
In the Team Hochberg Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak taking a look at the roads beginning with the Tri-State northbound. An accident right before Kedzie blocking the left center lane. Traffic is definitely slowing down there, and we are seeing no delay southbound side. Eastbound Jane Addams tight Meacham to Route 53, and that is due to construction. Inbound Eden's wide open, the Kennedy 35 minutes in from O'Hare to downtown. Eisenhower 30 minutes, 390 into the post office, while the Stevenson is a 25-minute trip, 355 into DuSable Lakeshore Drive. Inbound side of the Rhine 16 minutes, express lanes tightening up 43rd to the Stevenson. Traffic is a service of Del Bacchio Marchetti Group of At Properties, Christie's international real estate experts in the northwest suburbs and Chicago. With over $800 million in sales, you'll get the most value for your home. Call 708-828-0000. Again, 708-828-0000. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. But now a check of your forecast from the National Weather Service.
Clouds and breezy, couple of brief showers this afternoon. The high today 82. Cloudy, warm and humid. Shower and thunderstorm tonight. Could see some flash flooding. Low 71. Clouds and sun. Thunderstorm around tomorrow. The high at 89. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560. The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and in for Amy J. Famed Chicago Tribune columnist, now famed JohnCastNews.com columnist, John Cass.
As you can hear, if you listen to this radio station, you'll hear my commercial.
And Chicago Way podcast, you can get there as well.
Free.
Among the many pronouncements from Joe Biden yesterday, and so much of this was the presentation, not the substance, but the substance of this answer needs to be addressed. It was a remarkable event, last night's debate. So dominant was Trump, and I will freely admit, in part because of the contributions, in large part because of the contributions of Biden, that you didn't maybe pay attention to some of the wild things that Joe Biden said. So dominant was he that he turned the abortion issue on Joe Biden, leaving him to say the following.
Thank you. President Biden?
It's been a terrible thing, what you've done. The fact is that the vast majority of constitutional scholars supported Roe when it was decided. Supported Roe. And that's this idea that they're all against it is just ridiculous. And this is the guy who says the state should be able to have it. We're in a state where in 6 weeks, you don't even know whether you're pregnant or not, but you cannot see a doctor, and have him decide on what your circumstances are, whether you need help. The idea that states are able to do this is a little like saying we're going to turn civil rights back to the states, let each state have a different rule. Look, there's so many young women who have been, including a young woman who just was murdered, and he went to the funeral. The idea that she was murdered by an immigrant coming in, they talk about that. But here's the deal: there's a lot of young women who are being raped by their in-laws, by their spouses, brothers and sisters, it's just ridiculous, and they can do nothing about it. And they try to arrest them when they cross state lines.
Raped by their sisters?
Well, also, so let me understand. The reason we need Roe is because illegal aliens that I let in may rape you. Huh.
Very good.
Very persuasive. For more on last night's debate and the interesting reporting of our friend Bret Baier, who we just spoke with, pleased to be joined by Andy Kroll, ProPublica national reporter. Oh, ProPublica, favorite outlet of mine. ProPublica national reporter, author of A Death on W Street, The Murder of Seth Rich in the Age of Conspiracy. Andy, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Always great to be back.
So, Bret Baier, well, first of all, I mean, I don't know if you agree with my characterization, but the idea that abortion was going to be some kind of trump card, pardon the pun, that didn't work out terribly well for Biden in the debate yesterday. I mean, in part because of the larger context, but I mean, he just didn't have a moment on that issue that like he probably desired.
Well, the clip you played was probably going to be his moment if he could
have stopped.
Produce an intelligible response, a logical response to the question, but obviously he didn't. I mean, I admire your ability to actually tease something out of that answer, because watching it last night and hearing it again now, I still don't quite know what he was even saying. And that's, this is a big deal because the Roe issue, abortion rights issue, is what Democrats are kind of hanging their electoral hopes on. Young people may not turn out for Biden, but they'll, the Democrats think turn out on this issue, and then Biden spills the chance to talk about it at the debate. And so it's a pretty big whiff from him and a pretty big setback for the party.
So we just spoke with Bret Baier, as I was alluding to, and what Bret Baier told us in terms of the reported divided reaction. You had some people out there trying to do damage control. Frankly, I don't know how else to describe it for Biden, like Gavin Newsom, like the vice president. And then you had others basically saying that, well, there's going to be a lot of calls for him to step down. And what Bret Baier told us, according to senior Democrats within the Biden orbit, is that they're moving on him like right now, and that you could see a new nominee as soon as next week. And if he is unable to be persuaded out in the short term, that you'll have Democrats of some standing start to go public against him. Does that sound right to you, or do you know anything to the contrary?
Well, first, I respect Brett a lot, and if he's reporting that, I think that we have to take that really seriously and treat it as something happening in real time. And it absolutely matches both the things I've been hearing from my own sources, and of course things that I've been reading all this morning. There is pretty widespread panic in the Democratic Party, especially for people who are in the kind of machinery of this, the operatives, the donors, the convention strategist types. They were already freaked out about how the president would do on the debate stage. That's why we have this weird debate set up, early timing, CNN-style debate, and all of that. But I think if what we saw last night was just so much worse than even people who were going in with some trepidation had expected. And yes, you're hearing the strategists talk about what would it take to get someone like a Newsom or to get someone like another one of these governors on the ticket. I mean, the problem is, what do you do with Vice President Harris?
Right.
You're not hearing her name. I'm not hearing her name in the conversations, the text messages, et cetera, that I've had, or obviously in the other coverage I've read. But you're looking at a potential revolt in the party if they just sort of skip over the vice president. That's a big, big issue for them to grapple with, unless she somehow says, I don't want it. And I don't think that's particularly likely.
Well, guys, what does it tell you? In my political reporting, I always operate under the idea that what is not said is an indicator, is a story. And you just mentioned that what is not being said about Kamala Harris. What is her price, and why isn't it being mentioned? And what does that tell us about the situation?
Oh, it's a good question. And it's so early right now because we're having this conversation right after the debate last night. I mean,
I've got a deadline for Sunday, so I hope you come up with something good.
I'm working on it, John. I'm working on it.
Thanks,
I think that you have to understand the coalition that helped get Biden elected in 2020, and obviously black voters across the South, South Carolina especially, are a key part of that coalition, and in the big upper Midwest cities as well. And this is just the reality of the Democratic Party. If you were to just dismiss the vice president out of hand, the strategists, the consultants, et cetera, the donors, et cetera, if you just dismiss her out of hand, again, I think you have an internal revolt playing out. And maybe this is something that could play out at the actual convention there in your guys' backyard.
Well, I mean,
unclear at this point, but this is the kind of calculation. These are the calculations that are happening right now.
Well, right, and the longer this conversation goes on, the worse it is for them. So they're going to have to come to a resolution one way or the other at some point in the not too distant future. One would think, and I assume they know this. But there's still this issue of persuading him out, and Bret Baier seems to think that they believe they can persuade him out with, perhaps enough of a collection of potentates, starting with Obama leading the delegation. But I'll take that as he's closer to it than I am, so I'll take his viewpoint on that as given. But do you get that sense too that he could, if there's enough of a sort of dignified exit, as much as there can be in the wake of this, that Biden is actually persuadable, or is he going to have to be shown the window since he won't take the stairs?
And then what about Jill? What about Jill? Is she going
Love
to
the
be
image.
squalling like some fishwife on the docks, demanding her due?
She'll go where he goes. That one I feel fairly confident about. I mean, with the president, the guy's been in politics, as he reminded us, since he was the youngest U.S. senator. He's run for president multiple times. He is a political survivor, and someone like that does not agree to exit the stage mid-campaign during his presidency without a huge mobilization of people in his own party, a unified chorus. And this has got to come from, if it were to actually succeed, it's got to come from people you mentioned, Obama, the Clintons, but also there's the actual sort of campaign tactics here, which are he needs money, he needs the funding to run this campaign, and so big donors coming forward, that class of Democrat reaching out to him and saying, we're not with you anymore, and the implication that carries, that would also be a strong sign. And I think probably what's going on in what Brett's reporting is the longer the debate gets into, or the further the debate gets into the rear view, the more the few loyalists can sort of turn people, spin this debate in whatever way they're spinning it, and try to make people forget about what they saw with their own eyes last night.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are trying to make something happen, you're probably not saying, let's wait till Chicago. You're saying, let's try to do something over the weekend. Let's try to get as many people as we can, as fast as we can. Each day that goes by, I think it works in Biden's favor just by the way human memory and psychology work.
Yeah, try to weather the storm and have it recede. Well, I tell you that they have to figure something out, because if they don't buy the convention, my guess is we have J.B. Pritzker doing Alexander Haig impersonation, and he says, I am now in charge. I am the nominee.
Listen, think of J.B. Pritzker last night eating 2 banana cream pies. I would say 2 in terms of his anticipation and his appetite.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
2 pies.
Gavin Newsom was, downplaying all this talk about panic and replacement last night after the debate. But I mean, do you think that all of those governors mentioned as interested in stepping up, a few months ago, do you think they're still all interested in stepping into that nomination in this context at this moment with 130 days to go and the sort of self-immolation happening?
I think some of them will and some of them won't. I think some of them believe that I could see a Newsom in this category. The moment is so important, and they believe that Trump is such a threat that it would almost be their duty to put themselves forward and step in. But I don't know if a Whitmer, for instance, would necessarily jump in this way. I mean, you've been seeing her sort of building her national profile, courting the donors, starting to travel, very much from what I can tell from covering politics for a decade and a half, looking more toward the longer term, trying to build that foundation. Whereas, Newsom clearly is closer to the action. He's a surrogate for Biden. He's on TV all the time. He wants to debate Ron DeSantis and so on. So I think you'll get a mix of folks who might be interested in this if that opportunity to replace him actually does arise. But yeah, it's not a ideal situation to step into, and if anything, it's a long shot wild card in a lot of ways.
Andy Kroll is ProPublica national reporter. He's also the author of A Death on W Street, The Murder of Seth Rich in the Age of Conspiracy. Andy, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks.
And Andy joined us on the Turnkey.pro answer line.
It's what Chicago is talking about. It's Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560. The Answer.
Can peace of mind fit into just 3 fruits and 3 veggie supplements? Yes, we start by sourcing the best fruit and vegetable ingredients. We ensure that all our produce meets our rigorous standards in order to give you the highest quality product possible. They are then washed, cut, and put through an advanced vacuum-cooled process that removes the water using pressure. We then take great care in grinding them into a fine powder. These powdered ingredients are then mixed and encapsulated, locking out air and moisture. The capsules are then bottled and shipped right to your door so you can experience your own personal Balance of Nature success story.
I've looked at other supplements out there, and they don't have what Balance of Nature has.
Balance of Nature really was the game changer. I'm serious, it works.
Splash into your summer with our summer savings. Go to balanceofnature.com and get 50% off your first set as a preferred customer by using discount code CHICAGO.
Are you searching for the perfect gift that's as thoughtful as it is practical? Look no further than Old Town Oil. Our exquisite selection of extra virgin olive oils and balsamic vinegars make for the ideal present for any occasion. Whether it's corporate gifts to impress clients, employee gifts to show appreciation, or birthday gifts for that special someone, Old Town Oil has you covered. We've spent years building relationships with small family farms in Spain, Italy, Greece, Chile, California, and other major olive growing regions to bring you delicious, unique products that you won't find elsewhere, with retail stores in Evanston and Chicago's Old Town. Stop in to sample our artisanal olive oils such as Meyer Lemon, Tuscan Herb, Garlic, and Blood Orange. Or try our balsamic vinegars like Fig, Lemon White, Pomegranate, Peach, and more. Visit our website at oldtownoil.com to place an online order and explore our full range of products. Again, that's oldtownoil.com. Use promo code AM560 for free shipping.
Hi, it's Sean Thompson here. You know when you're at the mall and you go to those directory signs, the one that says you are here? Well, imagine that directory is a map of your preparation for retirement. Would you know where you are? My friend Tom Fortino at Alpha Wealth Group is offering you the opportunity to not only find yourself on that map, but also find the route toward a successful retirement. He calls it his retirement roadmap. You'll get an analysis of where you are right now, whether you're at risk if the market drops again, whether you're taking advantage of the latest tax changes, and much, much more. To get an idea where you stand on the road to retirement, call my friend Tom Fortino at the Alpha Wealth Group today at 630-934-1855. That's 630-934-1855. And ask for the retirement roadmap, or visit alphawealthgroup.com. And don't forget to listen to the Alpha Wealth Hour Saturday mornings right here on AM 560, The Answer at 9 a.m.
Advisory services through Retirement Wealth Advisors, LLC, and SEC Registered Investment Advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Alpha Wealth Group, licensed in Illinois.
As a family-owned business, your complete satisfaction means the world to Audi Morton Grove. We are dedicated to making the McGrath experience your best experience. Whether you're looking to buy a new Audi, in for service, or just taking a test drive, Audi Morton Grove will always give you the personal attention you deserve. For your convenience, we are now open Sundays for service. Visit us at 7000 Gulf Road in Morton Grove or online at audimortongrove.com. Service, value, reputation. That's the power of McGrath.
Freedom and liberty are important to all of us in Illinois, from Rockford to Carbondale, from Quincy to Decatur. If you're looking for civil, intellectual conversations with those shaping the future of freedom, try the Future of Freedom podcast with me, Scott Bertrand. We speak with leaders across the country in the greater conservative and libertarian movements. In-depth conversations about where the next intellectual battles will happen across the country. It's the Future of Freedom podcast. Find it at americastalking.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Let me ask you this. Are you not able to enjoy this summer as much as you want because of joint pain? Well, this is the best time for being outdoors, but not if your knees, shoulders, back, or hips are hurting. Hey, it's Amy Jacobson, and don't suffer any longer. Non-surgical joint pain relief is here from our good friends at QC Kinetics. Call them today. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. I'm talking lasting joint pain relief with no surgery, no drugs, no downtime. QC Kinetics advanced treatments harness your own body's ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. Walk, run, hike, play golf, move again pain-free. So stop putting it off. Take action now and live your best life again. Call QC Kinetics for a free consultation. They're open on Saturdays, now with new locations in Crystal Lake and Gurnee. 312-809-5955. 312-809-5955. That's 312-809-5955.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and John Cass of JohnCassNews.com in for Amy J this morning. Coming up at 8:08, we'll take a little cleansing breath, but we'll talk a little politics too. Dennis Quaid, prolific actor Dennis Quaid, joins us. He's the star of the soon-to-be-released biopic Reagan, which will be in theaters on August 30th. And he's going to be performing live in Chicago coming up July 19th. We'll talk to him about both at 8:08. Dennis Quaid at 8:08, and then, of course, at 8:38, we'll return to all the debate and the fallout. Brett Baer's reporting on Biden's future. It is now 8 o'clock, WIND.
It is a much reacted to debate. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
The whole spectacle was a sad story for democracy.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr., an independent who was not allowed in the CNN presidential debate. Much of the focus is on President Biden's performance, at times stammering or losing his train of thought. House Speaker Mike Johnson tells Fox.
Now the Democrats are being forced to say openly what they have known for quite some time. Joe Biden cannot be the president in the next term, and they're in panic for very good reason.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich reports from the White House.
The panic really escalated among my Democratic sources when the president fumbled a layup question on abortion, and his answer veered into an answer on immigration. He brought up a young woman who was killed by an immigrant. And one very high-ranking Democratic official texted me simply, "The race is over."
Now, other Democrats are putting the focus on what they say are Trump lies and falsehoods, including the former president's response to a Capitol riot election integrity question.
On January 6th, we were respected all over the world. All over the world, we were respected. And then he comes in, and we're now laughed at. We're like a bunch of stupid people.
Now, an hour from now, we could get the much-anticipated Trump ruling from the Supreme Court related to 2020.
The justices are working on this question: whether, and if so to what extent, does a former president enjoy presidential immunity from criminal prosecution for conduct alleged to involve official acts during his tenure in office.
Fox's Shannon Bream. It's among several cases justices have yet to decide, with rulings this morning and Monday. We just got an inflation update, a gauge the Federal Reserve tracks closely as it holds off cutting interest rates. There was no increase in prices May to April.
After 3 months of gains of 0.3% and year over year up 2.6%, also as expected, and both of those numbers down from April.
Fox Business Network's Lauren Simonetti. America's listening to Fox News.
Good morning. It's 69 degrees in Chicago on AM 560 The Answer. I'm Crystal Blue in the AM 560 newsroom. Cloudy skies today with a high near 83. A man is hospitalized following a SWAT situation on Chicago's north side. Police say officers responded to a service call last night in the 3900 block of North Clarendon Avenue, where a man was throwing miscellaneous items out of a window. SWAT were called to the scene and the man surrendered without incident shortly after. He was transported to the hospital for an evaluation. A 14-year-old is in critical condition after shooting himself in the leg on Chicago's south side. Police say the incident happened yesterday afternoon in the 1300 block of East Hyde Park Boulevard. Detectives are investigating. DuPage County State's Attorney Robert Berlin says there will not be any criminal charges against the Carroll Stream officers involved in a deadly shooting earlier this year. The decision was made yesterday after a long investigation. Attorneys for Eugene Goodloe III's family said the officer who fired the deadly shot was terminated. Police shot Goodloe in his Carroll Stream residence in the Village Brook Apartments in February after responding to a reported domestic violence complaint. A 14-year-old boy is accused of being involved in a violent robbery on Chicago's Near West Side. Police say the young teen was part of a group that beat and robbed a 45-year-old man yesterday in the 600 block of West Grand Avenue. The boy has been charged with one felony count of robbery and one misdemeanor count of battery. The mayor of Arlington Heights isn't seeking re-election next April. Thomas Hayes is planning to continue his work as an attorney and spend more time with his family. He began serving as mayor in 2013. The northwest suburb has been considered the possible site of a new Chicago Bears stadium at the old Arlington racetrack. Hayes says he believes the team will make a decision before his term is done. The Chicago Police Department will be discussing public safety preparations for 2024 Chicago Pride Parade this weekend. CPD officials will meet with the media today at the Center on Halsted. The 53rd Annual Pride Parade is being held Sunday, starting from Sheridan and Broadway. News is a service of the AM 560 Advantage. Membership has its privileges, including early access to event tickets, exclusive contest opportunities, and special members-only content. Join today at 560theanswer.com/join. A check of the roads coming up in 2 minutes, but time now for the AM 560 Business Beat.
I'm Maria Bartiromo, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Electric vehicle maker Fisker is recalling more than 8,200 of its Ocean SUVs because door handles can stick and fail to open. The recall was announced by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Software firm CDK, which provides systems for car dealers, says problems could linger into next week from 2 cyber incidents on June 19th. It's continued to bring some dealers back online, but doesn't expect to restore all systems before Sunday. The Wall Street Journal says as many as half of new car dealerships in the U.S. have been impacted and need to use pen and paper and other workarounds. Wall Street will be reacting today to the PCE index, the inflation reading for May. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Coselda, invested in you.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
That's some good stuff, I'll tell you. It really works.
I'm just really pleased with your product. I've been using it now for 3 years.
I've been taking it for a while now. I feel better. I live on the Balance of Nature. I plan on taking it forever.
I've been a very happy customer. I like the product, and I'm telling a lot of people about it.
Splash into your summer with Balance of Nature's summer savings. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 50% off your first set with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. That's 1-800-246-8751. Don't miss out. This offer is only available while supplies last. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this limited time offer by using discount code Chicago.
Go with your gut. Your dog's immune system is based in the gut. A diet lacking in nutrients can cause itching, scratching, and a weak immune system. However, there is a solution. DINOVITE, Dinovite.
It took a grand total of 2 weeks. The dog stopped itching, the hair stopped falling out.
Try Dinovite for free. Just pay shipping and handling. Learn more at dinovite.com/radio.
Happier, healthier with every bite. Over 1 million pets helped with Dinovite.
If you've got a military, first responder, or government service background, GovX.com is for you. You stepped up to serve our country and communities, and GovX delivers unbeatable deals that you've earned. GovX.com is the only site built exclusively to honor your service. Members save on thousands of trusted brands, tickets, travel, and more. See if you qualify. Visit GovX.com and join for free today. Use code RADIO15 in the shopping cart to get an extra $15 off your first order. GovX, savings for those who serve.
One of the most important decisions you can make as a parent is where you send your kids to school. But these days, it's never been harder to know which school is best. Public schools have changed a lot, and you might be thinking about sending your child to a private Christian school. But you also know that private school can be expensive, and in this economy, you might think it's not an option. Well, think again. With HalfPriceSchools.com, you can purchase tuition vouchers for half the price of normal tuition for private schools. For nearly 10 years, HalfPriceSchools.com has helped families from all over Chicagoland make the dream of private school a reality. And that can be the reality for you and your child, too. Just go to HalfPriceSchools.com, search for a private Christian school near you, and purchase a voucher. It's that easy. Visit HalfPriceSchools.com. That's HalfPriceSchools.com.
This is Carol Platt, lead out for townhall.com. In Murphy v. Missouri, the Supreme Court has taken the coward's way out. In a 6-3 ruling, it declined to rule on whether the Biden administration could coerce social media companies to censor and shadow ban people who disagree with it. It said the plaintiffs lacked standing, that those who sued hadn't shown a sufficient injury to bring the case. This ought to be distressing for everyone who cares about free speech. The Biden administration clearly engaged in censorship by surrogate, using social media companies to silence those it couldn't legally silence on its own. But But there's good news. First, future plaintiffs can challenge the Biden censorship regime. Second, bad legal news is great political news. Donald Trump could and should make free speech a centerpiece of his campaign. Republicans in Congress can draft laws to protect our First Amendment and draw a contrast with our left-wing government censors.
In the Team Hochberg Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak taking a look at the roads. On the inbound side of the Edens, no reported delays. The outbound side also looks good. Inbound Kennedy, 35 minutes in from O'Hare to the Jane Byrne interchange. We are seeing delays also from Montrose to Chicago. Outbound side, that's a 40-minute trip. Eisenhower, 50, 390 into the post office. Stevenson inbound, that is tight central to Kedzie from an earlier accident. Now on the shoulder, 35 minutes going in from 355 into downtown. On the Ryan, 22 minutes, 95th Street into the Jane Byrne interchange. Express lanes tightening up 47th to the Stevenson. Skyway, I-57 and the Bishop Ford, those are all good. Delays on the Tri-State in both directions at this time. Eastbound Jane Addams tight. Meacham to 53 and eastbound 80, that is sluggish. Larkin to Briggs. We have no delays to report at this time on 8094. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. But now, a check of your forecast from the National Weather Service.
Clouds and breezy, couple of brief showers beginning midday today. High 82, cloudy, warm and humid. Shower and thunderstorm tonight. We could get some flash flooding. Low tonight 71. Thunderstorm tomorrow morning. Otherwise, clouds and sun, breezy, and the high tomorrow 89. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560. The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan, and in for Amy J, John Cass, johncastnews.com.
Where you always get a good cup of Midwestern common sense.
No.
Is that too much?
It's very folksy.
It's you know what? The thing about the Midwest is we're common sense people.
Yes. We're
the morons at the Washington Post don't understand that, and that's why they have no newspaper that anyone wants to
simple
read.
People. Common
Not
clay.
Simple, but
common clay. You know, morons.
No.
Come on, Blazing Saddles. You don't get the Blazing Saddles reference?
I
Gene Wilder?
don't like
I'm kidding.
fart
kidding.
jokes on
I'm kidding.
broadcast.
Well, you're out, on the country. I'm just a Florida hillbilly now. Look at my hair.
Look at you got the mullet.
Yeah.
That mullet. Look at the side. Turn your head a little bit. Show people the mullet. That's epic.
Yeah. Just another Florida man.
Get your hair cut, you hippie.
So we've spoken a lot about the Biden replacement theory, the great replacement theory corollary.
Come on, Michelle will be dragged out. Come on, I don't want to. Come on, Michelle, do it.
Stop with the silliness. That's not true. Taylor Budowich is from MAGA World, CEO of MAGA Inc. War Room, co-founder of a conservative news outlet, a former spokeshuman for Donald J. Trump. I guess we can call him a spokesman since he's not on the identitarian side. Here's what Taylor Budowich posted. So take this into consideration. Again, we respect Bret Baier's reporting, and what he suggested was afoot, which is a push to get rid of Joe Biden and replace him. But it's not so simple. Taylor Budowich tweeting, Xing, while the Biden replacement theory is being peddled by anyone wanting to fill column inches or get on TV this morning, the real Democrat strategists are waking up realizing they're stuck with Biden. Biden camp is already saying he won't drop out, but that's the easy part. The FEC does not make it easy to just transfer and deploy hundreds of millions of dollars to some other candidate, dollars they desperately need. although I would say those dollars could probably be fairly quickly replaced, but it will take some time. That was my parenthetical remark, going back to Taylor. And who is that candidate? The idea that egomaniacs of Gavin Newsom, Kamala Harris, Hillary Clinton, Elizabeth Warren, AOC, and whatever other vulture hoping to make this their moment will ignore deep policy differences, personal animosities, and the urging of those around them is ludicrous. Not to mention the activist delegates who control the entire nominating process and the rules of the convention, activists who will have little understanding of the real diversity of our country or what it takes to win a national election. They are ill-prepared to actually serve as a legitimate alternative to the small d Democratic nominating process. For Democrats, the only thing worse than going into Election Day with Joe Biden on the ticket is Joe Biden leaving the ticket and the absolute cannibalistic chaos that will surely ensue. This is why Democrats will likely stick with their plans of an early virtual nomination, ram through Biden, and hope anything breaks their way.
That's not good enough.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro, answer line 64636DA, turnkey.pro. Text line, take that alternative view into consideration when playing fantasy politics about who might replace Biden. What do you think?
I want an explanation of what that writer's talking about. Let's play editor then. Explore that. Deepen it. I want to see, where is it?
Well, where's which part of it? I mean, he's just talking about the landscape. First of all, you're going to have to raise all new money, and again, that can be done. But
money's the money.
It still takes time. You're on an expedited timeline, though. You're not starting with $100 million in the bank. I mean, some of these governors are starting with some money in the bank. Obviously, J.B. Pritzker can write a check, and
right.
maybe that's what he would say. I can write a check, and I'm most prepared to go right now. But Gavin Newsom has money in the bank, but it's not easy to transfer from state to federal. So anyway, getting the operation set up is going to take some time. It's not turnkey. They're real world logistical and campaign finance issues that he's pointing to, and those are not illegitimate. The other thing he's saying is, don't forget, you have a bunch of egomaniacs, because you're talking about politicians, that all have their own ambitions. And so how long does the behind-the-scenes maneuvering and manipulating go on? How many people are involved in said maneuvering and manipulating to secure the post? And all the while, you're wasting precious days of trying to right the ship, and as we were talking about with Andy Kroll, push the debate performance into the recesses of those swing voters in swing states.
But with Biden at the head of the ticket, the Democrats lose the Senate, they lose the House, they lose the White House. It's a full-on sweep.
Yeah, but address what Taylor Budovich is saying. The only thing worse is Joe Biden not being on the ticket and the cannibalistic chaos that ensues.
Okay, I want to know which
is the worst hand? Which is the worst hand?
What is the cannibalistic chaos?
What I just described.
No, I want to hear, like, what personalities move, who attacks. What do you think that will happen?
Well,
you've been in these rooms.
Yeah.
You've been in these rooms where you're discussing. As long as I've known you, you've seen the chess pieces. Play it out. Where are the chess pieces here?
Well, it depends who actually wants to fill the void, if there is a void.
Pritzker, do it.
Pritzker. I mean, but I don't know. I mean, Pritzker, Newsom. Does a consensus white knight, or not white knight, but a consensus candidate, not of the front runner variety that's been talked about and was talked about for most of the primary, like a Jared Polis, enter? He's a billionaire, pretty close. He can write a big check too. Another governor, Colorado, more moderate, at least in terms of presentation, if not policy. Who else? AOC. It's not going to be AOC, but somebody else from Congress that wants to make their big play, or go out on a lark, because why not roll the dice and see if you get it? Because my point is to say, if you don't quickly get to, we're going to move this guy in and that guy out, and we've got Kamala Harris sidelined in this way, then you have multiple people trying to manipulate the decision makers, and that goes on for weeks. And so the story is all about who's going to replace Joe Biden, and you're essentially kneecapping your own nominee without an answer.
And you'll have people saying, for example, about Kamala Harris that those Democrats who've taken her out have no sensitivity towards black people, and the Republicans are right, and it gets even worse.
Well, how about yeah, right. Let's say, I mean, there's all sorts of scenarios here.
Right.
Let's say Gavin Newsom doesn't want to do it. I'll wait for 28. This is not the right play for me. Let's say J.B. Pritzker. You're going to put J.B. Pritzker. Let's just say he's in the mix. He's the big Panjan drum that's playing host to the DNC.
Yeah.
I can write a check. So now, and I make this all go away, and I'll write a checks to the DCCC and to the Senate Democrats too. So we'll prop everybody up. So now you're gonna skip over. I mean, remember, this is the Identitarian Party, and remember the base of the party. You're gonna skip over a black female for a Jewish gentleman from the Midwest, who the left considers just another honky, who's pro-Israel. I mean, J.B. Pritzker, he doesn't want to platform it, but he's pro-Israel. Now, what does that convention look like?
Betty, I'm going to have to light that cigar right now. I'm enjoying this. Just the idea of J.B. Pritzker,
I mean, and
as the racial fall guy in all this is just perfect.
So, and if you wanted to take somebody like that nobody really knows, but probably has more talent, but
like.
Well, I'll get to him in a second, because this is a guy who may be a 28 guy too. Maybe you wouldn't want to do it, but if you wanted to make that play to do sort of the blank slate, but fills the identitarian void, well, now you've got to introduce this guy. I have a particular person in mind, to the entire country, and you do have to come up with the money because he can't write the big check. So there's no scenario that is so easy. I mean, there's people talking about this like it's just a cut and paste job. It is not a cut and paste job. And all these competing interests, these squirming bags of appetites in governor's mansions around the country, I mean, it's complicated, man. I'm telling you. Ralph and Wilmette, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, guys. I just want to thank you both, you and Amy, for coming to Northbrook last night for the watch party. And it's my understanding that the inflation that the administration says is not bad at all, and the border, which they say is not bad at all. If once Trump wins, they're going to say that both of those terrible things are Trump's fault. Also, I was wondering if Amy, is she going to? Someone said visit the Big Blue Hole for a vacation.
Yeah, she's going scuba diving in Belize. Yeah.
Simmer down.
Buddy. Thanks for the call, Ralph. By the way, the guy I'm talking about, like if you wanted to do a blank slate kind of candidate, but fits the identitarian box, generational shift, well-spoken, Maryland Governor Wes Moore.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I like that idea. That would be
so. If I was in the room,
sort of like the Barack Obama play.
Yeah, it would be Barack Obama 2.0. That would be the play. But that's not without complication, is what I'm saying. You can't provide a scenario that this is just simple unless Joe Biden and Kamala Harris come together and say, we're leaving and we're going to back this person, and everybody else says, yes, that makes perfect sense. But I mean, that is, talk about utopian. That's just not going to happen.
In that scenario, Jim Clyburn is playing the banjo and smiling. But it won't happen.
Yeah, I mean, with cannibalistic is the right way to describe it,
Yeah.
and it'd be the same if this was going on the Republican side. The ambitions crashing into one another. That's what actually happens behind closed doors. Do pay no attention to the, my good friend, this, and the patina that both parties put over this. That's not how they actually behave, most of them.
Look at the human flesh in Nikki Haley's teeth.
Absolutely.
She was one of the mayors of Diomedes, if I have ever seen one.
Oh, nice.
Thank you. Classical reference.
Corey in Lake Mills, Wisconsin.
Good morning, team. I'd like to say good morning to my friends and family across the world. And my thoughts are about Mr. Pritzker. Him watching the debate last night was like him holding Cheetos and watching porn.
Yeah.
Wait a second. What about the banana cream pie, too?
Yeah, and a bucket of wings, too. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he was slathered up enjoying that last night. There's no question about it. Probably shirtless. That's how I envision it. Greg in Schaumburg.
Dan, very brilliant move to put the swiftest, sharpest, and most silver co-host on as the anti-Biden this morning. Now, what I'm going to pose to you is a scenario, and it's all premised on what I heard a lot last night with people suspecting that there's going to be a world crisis where our adversaries are going to utilize what they now see as an excuse for doing something. So what about this scenario? Grab your calendars. Thursday, July 11th, Trump is sentenced to 30 to whatever in Rikers, but with 30 days to report under the theory that no person is above the law. Friday, July 12th, Biden resigns. Kamala is president. Mike Johnson, therefore, would be vice president. Saturday, July 13th, Kamala pardons Biden and Trump. And that's the thing that gets Kamala to agree to not run, because she gets to be the magnanimous, historic person that, she pardons both Biden and Trump. On the 15th, then the they appoint the convention basically starts, for the Republican Party. And that's a scenario where no one gets exactly what they want. Trump doesn't have any clue during the convention who he would be running against, and it positions the Democrats in the most magnanimous manner to be historic.
Love it, Greg. And I also like this week where you pushed back on Dan in another call. But you forgot one thing. After all that's happening, Xi Jinping moves on the straits and takes Taiwan.
You and Greg should collaborate on a graphic novel, I think. Yeah.
John, that was the premise. That's the reason I said that first.
Oh, see?
Something's going to happen
Right.
that's going to cause all this to happen, because it doesn't make sense for Biden to have to resign before his term is over unless something like that happens. And there were enough people that were that concerned about what they saw last night that they feel our adversaries literally would make that move right now.
Okay, thanks for the call, Greg. I mean, it's fun to tease out. I mean, and then simultaneously, Putin invades Poland and Maduro invades Guyana.
No.
And then the Earth collapses in on itself like a dying star.
No, but Mealy does something, makes a move somewhere.
What kind of move?
I don't know. I'm not studying that.
Okay. All right.
In Copa America, he decides the United States soccer team, I don't.
It's that time coming up. We'll have Open Mic Friday to continue teasing out our various political fantasies or prognostications.
And by the way, before you go, this has been 2 great weeks of soccer and more to come.
All right.
Euros and Copa America. I love it. I love it. I love it.
John Cass just got, what do you guys do in that calisthenics? The yellow flag or something? Do you throw a yellow flag when there's a foul?
A red card for you. You're out of here.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Quick delivery service. What do you need delivered today?
Hi, I'm trying to work through a last-minute to-do list for my boss. Can you deliver a hard drive to the Loop in Chicago?
We can deliver that today.
Okay, can you deliver 20 boxes to a client in Rockford?
We can deliver that today.
Can you deliver 12 pallets of tile to our customer in Naperville?
We can deliver that today.
Can you deliver a large envelope to Northbrook?
We can deliver that today.
Oh my gosh, I think my water just broke. Can you?
We cannot deliver that.
Quick Delivery Service delivers your package no matter the size. More than just a messenger service, Quick Delivery Service is a messenger and trucking service that can also provide scheduled routes for your daily delivery or your air shipment. Trucks are equipped to handle the load and provide ground-level service for same-day delivery. The Quick Delivery Service team of safe, licensed professionals can provide quick door-to-door service for your special delivery. QuickDelivery.com. That's QuickDelivery.com. We deliver that today. But we don't deliver this.
AM 560, The Answer.
Open mic! Open mic Friday! Call in now! Open mic Friday!
It is that time of the week, Open Mic Friday, taking your calls with comments, concerns, compliments.
Crack pottery.
General crack pottery. Of course, we always take general crack pottery. And the number is 312-642-5600. That's the Turnkey.pro answer line.
My favorite day of the week.
We begin, as we do, with Turnkey.pro founder, David Kolsak. David?
Good morning, Dan and John. How are you guys today?
Good.
Hey, David, good.
So how about that debate? I could probably say a few things about that, but I'm going to let that for other people. I'm going to go in a different direction like I like to do. It's time we started talking about topics that are no longer taboo, right? Or close to it. So on the morning of September 11th, 2001, like so many others, I remember being at home and getting a call from a friend saying, turn on that TV if you don't have it on. It looks like a small plane just hit one of the Twin Towers. At that time, I was married with no kids. I watched the Today Show every day with Katie Couric and Matt Lauer. I was completely in the matrix, so to speak. I listened to the news, and I believed everything they told me. I found the morning news to be so entertaining. As weird as it sounds, I felt like connected to those anchors, right? I felt like they were my friends. So I turned on the news like everybody else, and I saw the first tower burning. Now, for me, I thought it must have been a small plane that hit that first tower because the hole didn't look that big and it was really high up. So for all I knew, someone had just made a mistake and hit that tower with their plane. So over the next 20 minutes or so, I watched the coverage and the speculation. And then like everyone else, I saw the famous footage of the second plane crashing in and having the realization that we were under attack. It was a very scary moment for all of us. And we all have similar stories. And I thought about the Sears Tower and all the different targets that could be coming. So much fear and uncertainty on that day. So then the building that the second plane hit crumbled to the ground like a controlled demolition like an hour later after Tower 1, half an hour after Tower 1. So anyway, I couldn't believe my eyes. How could a couple of 767s hit two high-rise buildings and then they collapse, right? It seemed far-fetched, but soon thereafter, there were all kinds of footage on the streets where you saw people covered in ash already talking about how the jet fuel weakened the structural steel and caused the buildings to collapse. I mean, how would normal people on the street, after witnessing something that horrific, have those theories about the buildings, collapsing because of jet fuel? So look up the melting point of the steel and the temperature Jet A fuel burns, and you'll find another question. And then you have the mystery of Building 7. I mean, most people don't even know about that building. It was a smaller high-rise, but adjacent to Buildings 1 and 2. That building famously was reported by the BBC as demolished late in the afternoon, but you could clearly see it still standing in the background of the shot. But then at 5:20, just like they prognosticated, that building fell down, and it looked like a controlled demolition as well. Nothing hit that building, but yet it just fell like the two others straight into its footprint. So that was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day that changed our life forever. What it did for me, and I'm sure millions of others, is that it made me really mad. It made me fighting mad. I remember 2001, mad enough for me to want to join the Army and go to war, right? All of my anger was aimed at the hijackers and anyone who, anyone that was a Muslim, frankly, right? So that was totally what happened, and I'm not really proud of feeling that way, but that's how I felt, and the way the events played out, it was almost impossible to feel any other way. So, I mean, they had a bunch of intact, untouched passports of hijackers. I saw the planes hit at least one building on TV, and I heard George W. Bush say that he'd go after the people who brought the buildings down. So anyone who questioned the events of that day or our actions going after Saddam Hussein was a heretic in my book. Looking back, I treated some of those people very badly as well. But then again, I was 33 at the time, and I was convinced that I knew everything, and damn it, we're the friggin' United States, and nobody messes with us. So now you can fast forward about 4 years ago when I would say I became awake. They overplayed the COVID thing, and that woke me out of my slumber, and then it was off to the races on so many topics. I mean, we talked about the moon landing last week. This week it's the subject of boarding 9/11. So I'm not going to litigate what happened here, who or the many factors that played into the events of that day. Like, many listeners here are bright enough to look up the videos. You see how the planes cut through the buildings like a knife through butter. No plane parts recovered, the eyewitness accounts. Some looked like crisis actors saying things too perfect in the moment. And Building 7. I mean, what was in Building 7? Why was it pulled? So many questions. So what I find interesting is people like Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens are openly talking about these things like this. Maybe it's just because they're independent and they don't have masters to serve, or maybe it's because we as a people are ready to talk about stuff like this. So Candace, you can see on X where she learned a bunch of things from her viewers about 9/11 a few weeks ago, and it shook her. She admitted that. So she showed a famous video of the dancing Israelis on her podcast and their ties. She found their ties to the Israeli intelligence apparatus, and the FBI pretty much let them go, no follow-up, and it was memory hold. So then one of her followers said, look into the Israelis who were working in the World Trade Center and how they were warned ahead of time. Again, another story that was memory hold. So this is what Candace said after doing her research, and she has the receipt. There was an instant messaging app called Odago. It was Israeli-owned and operated, and they had a headquarters that were based a couple blocks away from the World Trade Center. And this is according to Haaretz, I think is how you pronounce it, a very popular Israeli publication. Check out this headline from September 26th of 2001. It says, Odago says workers were warned of attack. The article says that Odago, the messaging service, says that 2 of its workers received messages 2 hours before the Twin Towers attack on September 11th, predicting that the attack would happen. And the company's been operating with it's been cooperating with the Israeli and American law enforcement, including the FBI, trying to find the original sender of that message predicting the attack. Around the same time, 2 weeks after 9/11, the vice president of Odago, called Alex Diamandis, said that the messages said something big is going to happen in a certain amount of time, and it did. So for whatever reason, the Odago employees did not feel the need to pass that information on to the authorities in New York that would have saved thousands of lives. And then again on September 28th of 2001, CNN reports that the FBI is looking into whether a warning sent to employees at an instant message company less than 2 hours before jetliner slammed into the World Trade Center was connected to attack. So after the attacks, the employees of Odago decided to search the server logs and find out the source of the message. The information was then passed on to the Israeli authorities, who turned it on to the FBI, but the FBI did not confirm whether they received any of that information. Talk about a memory hole. So Candace goes on to say that our greatest ally in the world had information that an attack was about to take place on American soil, and rather than alert the American authorities, they decided to alert other Israeli citizens. So on top of all the questions surrounding 9/11 that already existed for me, this little ditty from Candace Owens makes me wonder what really happened that day. Eventually, the truth will make it all the way to the light of day, so here's hoping to that.
Okay. All right. I just, for some reason, I have this image of the back shed that was portrayed in A Beautiful Mind, where John Nash had news clippings and yarn with push pins that linked one to the other.
Like
Is your office like that? I had that. I don't know why that image popped
you gotta come
into
up
my
here
head.
and check it out.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, David, as always.
There's a name for those boards, but I forgot them now. The yarn.
Yeah.
The blonde, like David. You know the woman. Okay.
Okay. 312-642-5600. Turnkey.pro answer line. Let's get back to the debate. By the way, it's going to be Hillary Clinton. Like,
no bleeping way.
I don't understand. Is Hillary Clinton?
I'm not going to give up my Michelle fantasy for Kankles, for God's sake.
Well, first of all, the reason Kamala can't just step in is because she is about as popular as Lyme disease, right? So she's unelectable. This just in, Hillary Clinton isn't any more popular. So how does that make any sense? And why would anybody else who has aspirations for the presidency on their side, why would they defer to her? That makes no sense.
Who's fronting her?
I actually would love to be, you know what, I could be like the Charles Ogletree for the Democratic Party. The Harvard law professor used to host these roundtable discussions on particular philosophical issues, and you'd have the span of personalities and academics and business people across the political spectrum, and he would just
last two go to the Thunderdome.
Well, he would just go around and ask questions, and he essentially would act as a moderator and facilitator of the discussion to get to a point. I could do that for all of these Dem politicians who want to be president, including the incumbent, maybe to help streamline this process to get to an answer. I'm willing to do it. I'm just saying. I'm just trying to be a good American. Neil in LaGrange.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. I've got a couple of comments. Number one, I noticed there was a screenshot or a camera shot last night of the debate. I thought nobody was supposed to have notes, but there was one shot clearly where Biden had this pad of paper and he was flipping up. I don't know if he had his own notes or
you were allowed to have a notepad and write your own notes. You just couldn't bring in pre-prepared notes, which I think is what he was doing.
And then secondly, you had that other caller that called and said, Harris was going to be president and then Johnson was going to come in as vice president. It doesn't work that way, correct? Harris, if she were to become president, she has to nominate somebody, and then doesn't the Senate have to vote on it? And then lastly,
right.
because there's a succession if both of them die.
Right. Yes.
But anyway, so, and then, John, I'd love to get the Teddies with you for a beef.
Anytime, man. Anytime.
All right, I'll go. Have a great day.
Thanks for the call, Neil. Appreciate it.
I got to have a beef at Teddy's. It's been a long time for that.
I thought it was Frankie's.
Freddy's is a beef place, is a place to go to, but Freddy's is in like Cicero.
Yeah, Cicero. No, I know it well. It's in Cicero. It's excellent. Yeah, but I'm just trying to stick up for my Elmwood Park friends. Sharon in Warrenville.
Did you say Sharon in Warrenville?
Yeah. Are you not Sharon?
I am.
Oh, good.
I'm suggesting to you, John Kerry. He recently quit his climate czar position during the Davos meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they want this green agenda dragged across the finish line.
I'd love it if he ran because he's such a stiff.
Oh, I hate him.
Yeah, that's why she wants him to run, because she hates him.
I don't want him to run.
No, I know what you mean.
I'm fascinated nobody's talking about him.
Well, yeah.
He's attached to more money than you could possibly begin to imagine.
Well, so's Jelly Belly. John Kerry is sort of a fossil, so you'd be replacing one fossil for another. That doesn't seem like the play. Thanks for the call, Sharon.
Do you put ketchup on your grilled cheese? You really do that?
Who does?
People do that. Ketchup on the grilled cheese. Heinz ketchup on the grilled cheese.
Oh. John in Bridgeport from his war room.
That's right. I'm back. Here we go, guys. Okay. All right, here's news this morning. The overseas betting lines now has Pritzker third in receiving the nomination for the Democratic nomination. Dan, you think he's going to really try to weasel his way into this of getting this nomination when the convention comes here?
I'm saying if there is sort of backroom wheeling and dealing to replace Biden, and Biden is persuaded to step down, then I think Pritzker would be in the mix. I think that.
Well, he's paying for this convention anyway.
Well, and do you think he wants to be Illinois governor? You think that's what this is about? No, right. So I think he would be.
If you get it,
I think he would try.
If you get a chance, read the tweet that Donald Trump said about Pritzker on Father's Day. You could go back and look it up. It's hysterical. One of the funniest things I've read all year. So, all right, well, keep your eye on Pritzker, guys. He's trying to make a move on this damn thing. I'll be in contact.
All right.
Remember Leslie Gore, "It's my party and I'll cry if I want to."
Mm-hmm.
Pritzker's theme song.
But by the way, Neil from LaGrange is right, though. So if Kamala became VP, then she would nominate a VP. You don't just slide Speaker Johnson in as the VP. Anyway, the Prime Minister, Ogden Dunes, Indiana.
Mr. Cass and Mr. Prof, I'm in a very big hurry. Dan, I've been asked by the powers that be in Washington to reach out to talent. So, Dan, I'm asking you, since you ran for governor, and seeing as you are not morbidly obese, I have been asked by this ad hoc committee to probe you on only 4 key questions. If you get the right answers, you will be invited to a very special party. Before I begin, Mr. Cass.
Yes, sir. Prime Minister.
Oh, boy.
Run your fingers through Professor Prost's hair. Would you say he has Hollywood hair, or would you say even Reagan-esque presidential hair?
Running my fingers through Dan's hair is not, let me put it this way, it's not my métier, okay?
Oh, fancy words.
Fancy words for fancy men.
All right, let's go, PM.
And 4 quick questions.
Yeah.
1, do you possess a healthy dose of cynicism? And if so, do you agree with the statement, it depends on what the definition of is?
I do not agree with that statement. Yeah.
Okay, number 2, could you see yourself pardoning a turkey, and I'm talking both about father and son, And are you willing to attend at least 3 WNBA games with foreign dignitaries?
No, I cannot attend. I will not attend. If invited, I will not attend. No, I can't go to a WNBA game. No, I won't.
Silent Calvin Coolidge. Yeah. That's a good. Would you be willing to work closely with Senator Schumer to repeal the laws of supply and demand?
No, I'll pass on that too.
And then lastly, do you give high marks to Carl, and would you be willing to worship Beelzebub?
The high marks to who?
Carl Marx.
High marks. I see what you did there. I am not a Satanist, and nor am I a Marxist or a fan of.
You cannot qualify then as a presidential timber for the Democrat Party. We're in search of talent, but I'm sorry, you do not qualify.
Well, it's a fair vetting process that you've stood up. So I respect your decision. Thank you, Prime Minister. Dave in Detroit. Dr. Detroit.
Yeah. I wanted to put my 2 cents in on Trump's VP choice.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be a disaster for him to pull somebody out of the Senate, or even with these margins, somebody out of the House and put him in that VP spot. History teaches us, Obama's first year, Ted Kennedy died, and he was a senator from one of the most Democrat states in the country. He was replaced by a Republican. That cost Obama his his supermajority. Cost him a supermajority. Trump took Jeff Sessions out of the Senate and made him, the second worst attorney general in the history of the Trump administration. And one of the most Republican states in the country, Alabama, replaced Jeff Sessions with a Democrat. And that cost Trump the ability to overturn Obamacare. That was the vote that saved Obamacare. Back when Clinton was president, he pulled Lloyd Bentsen from Texas out of the Senate. He pulled Al Gore out of the Senate for his vice president. By 1994, both of those seats were replaced by Republicans. And on the night, that night of the midterm election, 1994, that was a margin of victory. The Democrats would have retained the Senate if it wasn't for those 2 seats.
So you want a governor, is what you're saying?
Maybe Burgum, somebody, anything other than a Senate. I think history teaches us don't pull anybody out of the Senate for sure. And I think with the margins that we have in the House, you can't do it in the House either.
Thanks for the call, Dave. Interesting. I was surprised last night at our debate watching party at Marcello's when we were talking about potential VPs for President Trump, that there was as much support for Doug Burgum as there was. Now, these are, obviously people attending the watch party, people who are paying attention, so they know the players and the various arguments in support or in opposition to each person. But it was interesting that there was like a good level of support. Probably most of the support was for J.D. Vance, or he had the plurality, but Burgum was close behind.
I like Burgum as Interior Secretary to support drilling, or Energy Secretary, but
Commerce.
Okay.
If you believe that agency should exist, which I don't, but it does.
But J.D. Vance for VP, because I want somebody to carry on the conservative movement when it's no longer Trump's.
Right, but the flip side is, like a Doug Burgum who's 70. You say, well, so what you have here is somebody who's had a good executive career as a businessman and a governor, some more executive experience in the policy arena.
Yeah.
And he's a loyalist, and he's not going to freelance, and he's sharp, and he probably won't be the nominee in 28.
And is the Republican for Senate a lock in that state?
The Republican for Senate?
Well, he's
a governor.
Oh, governor.
He's a governor.
Okay.
So then you then you say 28. I'm going to throw it open, and it'll be an open competition, and the party can choose to pursue the America First agenda with a new standard bearer or not. Yeah, I mean, I can see it both ways. Monica Lyle.
Hi, guys. I just wanted to say like my children, I love you all equally.
Oh, thank
and
you so much.
John, thank you for subbing for Amy today.
Thank you,
with regards to the debate, I wasn't feeling well, so I just listened to it, and I knew it was over when he mentioned his son in Iraq. I think that was in the first 10 minutes of the debate.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, if they are going to pick Pritzker over Kamala Harris, a Jewish guy, over a black woman, in the state of affairs right now, they can kiss Michigan goodbye, and not to mention anybody else who believes in Hamas and everything else going on in Israel.
Let's
that's over.
Feed that rumor a little bit, okay, Monica?
Now, thanks for the call, Monica. The only thing I'd say is, again, I know the zeitgeist is in the direction of, well, Brett Baer's reporting this morning that
Right.
they're moving on him as we speak, but he's not standing still. Joe Biden has committed to the debate in September. He's committed to the September. I think it's September 10th.
There won't be a debate.
He committed to it. He's ready to go.
I don't care. I'm not going to let Trump get on the stage with this.
You're not going to let. You're not going to let him get on the stage,
Mr. President. Do not get on the stage. No, nothing good can happen from it.
I don't think Biden is going quality. I mean, this is the whole point too. Get out publicly.
It's like Oberyn Martell mocking the oath, whatever it is. Like, who gave the order? And he keeps dancing around the guy after he's got him on the ground, and he trips and he's dead. And his eyes get cracked out of
Well, I'm just saying that, he makes this public statement committing to the September debate because it puts a lot more pressure on those who want to depose him. Okay, well, I committed the second debate. Now, what's your move? Are you going to go public against me?
Yeah.
I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Listen to what I'm saying. I'm not leaving. Very interesting.
So Dan wants to protect Biden because you don't want to lose him.
I do not want to lose him.
Right.
Yeah, I do not want to lose him. I agree with Ali Mayorkas. I mean, he is probing. He is alert. Perfect. He is detail oriented. He's exacting. That's what I saw last night.
Yeah.
I saw, like George Scarborough said, I saw a man at the top of his game. Is what I saw.
If only I could have seen Joe Scarborough panic and crap his pants, because when he saw that, him and Mika together would have been
ugly business Mika has to do there. Dave in Crystal Lake.
Hi, guys. Thanks for taking the call here. I just want to say that after Biden's first response, I said to the group of people here, this is a setup. They planned this debate early, so they had time to get Biden out, and that was the whole purpose. And Biden
so Biden's team set him up. That's what you're saying.
Yep.
No. Nope.
Mm-hmm.
No. Nope. Nope.
Joe wouldn't let that happen.
I love the double and triple bank shots and the you know what they got a Donnie Brasco in their circle. Come on.
We haven't recovered from Clinton. All right, and all that got us going.
Becky and Sandwich.
Good morning, Dan.
Morning.
Good morning, John.
Wanted to take a moment. Yeah. Hello, John. Wanted to take a moment and just let you know that I'm not spending my morning recapping what happened last night. I know who won. I know who needs to be in the White House. I'm spending my morning putting together parade routes and schedules to get people out, talking, and continuing the movement right through to November. We gathered in Sandwich at the sports page last night. We had a full house, up to about 70 people. We listened to the debate. We played debate bingo. We had great community, and that is what it's all about. We need to gather people. We need to keep them energized, and we need to keep moving forward.
Yeah, very good. Thanks for the call. That's what we did at Marcello's in Northbrook. It was a great crowd. It was a lot of fun. I think my friend T.J. Brown, who's the Republican committeeman for Northfield Township, I think his son won Biden bingo. So that was nice. Although I think everybody won Biden bingo because everything on that bingo card was said multiple times, living down to expectations. Brian in Lansing.
Good morning. Good to hear your voice, John. I have a question for you both. Does this force the Department of Justice to release Biden's audio tapes when that he's unfit to stand trial? And would the Republicans actually do the Democrats' job and use the 25th Amendment to get rid of them.
Thanks for the call, Bryant. Well, it would have to be the Democrats moving on Biden, really. 25th Amendment.
There's
action.
so much to write. It's unbelievable.
But the other thing is, at this point, after that performance, releasing the audio tapes is just sort of like past post. I mean, it's just like piling it. Yeah, we know. We just saw the debate. Now we know what Robert Hur was talking about. Of course he can't stand. Of course he's mentally unfit to stand trial. I don't need to hear the tapes.
Second paragraph of my column.
I don't need to hear the tapes. I saw the debate. Keep your tapes.
Who needs them? I already saw
Right?
them. Yeah.
Kevin in Austin, Texas.
Nixon decided to leave office after congressional Republicans went to him and say, "You got to go." So maybe that's what happened.
Well, he was facing something more substantial than Democrats can threaten.
Yeah, no,
Biden.
yeah. My point is that hopefully that'll work. I had a
Why hopefully will it work? Why do you want him to go? Why do Republicans want him to go?
That's true. Well, okay, that's right. So if he stays, let me go ahead. A different point I was going to try to make. I think yesterday I said, hey, last night's going to be like Thanksgiving, and everybody finally sees what happened. I was thinking about the prologue thing as far as 9/11. Maybe this is Democrats' 9/11. Like, holy crap, this is what happened. So question to you is, to take advantage of last night, what should Illinois Republican strategists do to build an effective political organization? Let's not focus on that, but let's focus on how can Illinois Republicans take advantage of this. What do they need to do to build something?
Get a U-Haul. Fill up
boy.
the U-Haul. Come to Indiana. Leave this town.
Yeah.
Leave this.
By the way,
state.
Johnny's beef is the best.
I love Johnny's beef.
Yeah, what didn't I say Johnny's beef?
No, you said we were talking about Joe and Marie's place. What is it called?
You're talking about Freddy's and
Freddy's.
Cicero.
Yeah.
Didn't I say? Did I make a reference? Did I?
You made a reference to Freddy's because in your senior moment.
Yeah, I meant to say Johnny's in Elmwood Park on North Avenue. Yeah. I don't know. You know, I'm tired. I'm exhausted from the.
There's a Johnny's beef right here, just a few miles away from this studio.
I'm exhausted by the tour de force performance of the incumbent president last night. Pat in Bartlett.
Hey, Pat.
Hi. Question for you. Are we able to use this to our advantage and have Democrats and Republicans both complaining about his mental state, his performance in this debate, to call for his immediate removal, put Kamala Harris in as president, and then isn't it up to her to decide if she's going to run for president or not? Now they've got Kamala Harris running against Trump.
Yeah, although
once she puts that biscuit in her teeth, she's not going to give it up. You really want to, Kamala?
Right. I don't want her to give it up.
Yeah. Thanks for the call, Pat.
Don't you love your country?
I don't. You know, the problem is how do you? Yes. Well, you can't just install somebody. You have to go through this process. Otherwise, you'll have a revolt within your own party. Yeah. So you have to get agreement, and then you have to sell the delegates, the activist delegates, on this agreement. Like I said, it's just much more complicated than I think people want to appreciate. Kevin on the Kennedy.
You tell Ty Webb I'm gunning for him, and he's got to play me to prove it.
He's good as he says he is. Yeah. Okay, Judge Smales. Rich in Indian Head Park.
Hey, good morning, Dan. Good morning. How you guys doing today? What I wanted to say about the debates last night, I got two words. One was discipline, and the other one was a disaster. I think Trump showed a lot of discipline by just standing back and listening to Biden just kill himself. And as far as losing Donna Brazil, I think that says a lot for where Biden is going to go in all of this. But the one question, Dan, I wanted to ask you: would you pay-per-view to see Biden swing golf club fall on his face? I think that would be the biggest pay-per-view amount of money that would be made if we could see that.
Look, I said, thanks for the call, Rich. I said, let's have a skins game. I mean, I'm happy to host them both as my guests at Olympia
You got to
Fields.
have high stakes, though. maybe Jill gets thrown into a pit of alligators or something like that.
I don't know about that. I think White House or Rikers Island. I mean, I think
Very good.
the winner gets the Oval Office and the loser gets.
Just one round short, 9 holes.
No, you don't play 9 holes.
What do you play?
You play 8. I mean, honestly,
you play
18 holes.
Wait,
you don't play 9 holes.
There's no time limit. It's not like 45-minute halves.
Oh, jeez. Yeah,
Yellow cards,
there's
red cards.
There's no time limit in that calisthenic that you're a fanboy of. Chuck and Delavan to close it out. Chuck.
Hey, tomorrow in Lake Como, they're supposed to have a 4th of July parade. There's going to be an antique fire truck there, and Santa Claus is going to be on top.
Hey, what
Don't
about?
forget to get on.
Wait! I got a question. Hey, what about? Is there some sort of rally for Ed Burke at Twin Lakes?
No.
Chuck, have you heard anything
No.
about that? No.
Are you
No, and it's the big fundraiser on Sunday at the bottle shop in downtown Lake Geneva for Nikki Sharp. And Reggie and Phil told me to tell you hi. I had breakfast with them on Monday.
Oh, Reggie and Phil
be
are good
good.
people. Yes.
Everybody get out and do something.
Thanks for the call, Chuck. Appreciate it.
And I got one shout out to Pat, the pain in the ass paramedic Fitzmaurice. I love you, guy.
John Cass, love you. JohnCass.com. Great sitting in. It is now 9 o'clock. WIND.
Still waiting on a big Trump ruling. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. It could come any minute as the Supreme Court decides more cases this morning. The Trump appeal. The former president's claim he should be immune from prosecution in a federal indictment.
Special counsel Jack Smith alleges Trump tried to overturn the results of the 2020 election and directed his supporters to the Capitol on January 6th. Trump argues he has absolute immunity from criminal prosecution for acts taken within the outer perimeter of his official responsibilities.
That's Fox's Shannon Bream. At the CNN presidential debate last night, former President Trump was asked if he'll accept the 2024 results.
If it's a fair and legal and good election, absolutely.
President Biden's response?
I doubt whether you'll accept it because you're such a whiner. The idea if you lose again, you accepting anything, you